All right, so I got.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah,
we kept telling you, like, Kyle, no, you can't.
Like, this isn't the best way to start this
For the memes! Oh god, that audio is
Oh no, now he's going back. Oh god.
We are peaking real bad.
Also,
why did you
don't
Why did you shout?
maybe just don't yell in Tom's apartment. Is really what
That might be a good rule
the-
all the time in my apartment. Don't
Says
shout.
Tom as he yells. Like, it was a good rule as you shout in your apartment.
Peaking. Okay, so it's not the end of the world.
Everything's fine.
Everything's
There he goes.
It's fine.
Back.
My neighbors aren't going to hate me.
Everything's fine.
It's fine.
I'm always stressed about people hearing me through the walls.
Can you hear
What
people
are you
through the
doing?
walls?
Here we go.
It sounded weirder, but like I just like I don't like listening to TV loudly in places. I'm always worried that like it's too loud. Got to turn it down more.
If you're wondering who has loud TVs.
Oh, I know.
So
I know
hello to
that.
the Quest Friends Q. Hello
yeah,
to the
hi. Hi,
Hello to the Quest friends.
I'm just
Hi,
gonna have
Quest
to do a
friends.
separate opening for the
You're
podcast.
just gonna have to
version.
do it. This one's already squandered.
So we're doing a Q&A from now until whenever the hell we feel like it. Usually they last around 2 hours.
Whenever Tom's quiet hours are.
Transcript
generator. That's so
Chad
funny.
is asking if they can meet my cat.
Yeah,
and the
so-
answer is possibly
Feel
if
free to
I
hang
open
out
this
in
door.
chat. Just note that not everyone watching has necessarily watched the finale, but also know if you haven't yet, listen to the finale. We may mention some finale stuff, but like be considerate with that kind of stuff.
I'll try.
Yeah,
We'll
do our best.
Yeah, and I mean for us, if it comes up, it comes up. It's mostly like a reminder for us in the chat that not everyone has listened. But also feel free to interact in the chat. I am pulling questions from our survey, and one from Twitter, from actually our transcriber who sent us a message on Twitter and said, this could have been a Q&A question. I'm like, that's a good Q&A question. But if at any point you have a question such as, OMG, can we meet your cats? Feel free to ask.
Speaking of which, am I allowed to open the door to let the cat wander in? Okay, I will do so.
Was there a reason you weren't allowed to have the door open?
Well, Kyle said we should close the door.
I said I was going to do it for like audio quality because we can like hear the AC,
Yeah.
but also the audio quality for this
He's already fucked.
Is already
very bad.
is garbage.
Yeah, because we're all together. So
He's down on the
yeah,
ground
never
now,
happens.
but at any moment
so far away
he
from
could
the mic.
hop up.
So far away. I tried to make it so everyone is close. I guess if we push
it's
the
fine.
mic
No, it's
further
okay,
away,
then Tom
No,
would have
please.
No, just
Push
leave
the
it like
mic
that.
and
Don't make it
further away
worse.
from me than it is further away from everyone. Sorry again for the podcast folks listening, but after last episode, I need a break, so I'm just going to be doing a lot of auto leveling.
Kyle's-
and that's pretty much
Kyle's
it.
running on like 20 minutes of sleep at the moment.
Excuse me, I
Yeah.
slept 20 minutes on the plane and 20 minutes while watching the finale.
Wait, was it fully sleeping or just dozing?
I feel
in
like
and
you
out?
were just dozing.
Yeah, you didn't fall
you were
asleep.
fully
Hi,
asleep.
Cecil.
Hey,
Dodging the question was cat.
Yeah.
So if at any point you have any questions or stuff, feel free to ask. But yeah, we're here in person for the first time in 2 years.
It's been so long.
2
years.
All vaccinated.
All vaccinated.
Yeah.
all vaccinated and not doing a single other thing.
We are going to be hiding
we are-
inside my
yeah.
apartment for the entire week.
Although again, that may be less caution and more.
That's also what we
We're
did
gonna have
before.
hours.
Yeah.
We sometimes went out and did things when we got together, like mini golf.
We
or
mini golf.
True.
We
or
went
like
to laser
arcade,
tag,
laser
escape
tag,
theater
rooms.
sometimes.
Did escape.
We watched a
We've
movie
done things
saw
outside.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone outside.
We're just not doing that this time.
a couple times. No,
Yeah.
really, we went
We're-
outside.
We're
We can count the times.
We went to a mall twice.
We did.
So that's
You went to a mall twice. I came. So what I did today, and then we'll actually get to the reason people are watching. But what I did today is, let's see. I edited till 4 a.m. Arizona time. Then I mashed the export button, prayed that it exported before I had to go to the airport. It did. I uploaded it, went on an airplane, failed to fall asleep. So I watched Edge of Tomorrow. Still a pretty good movie, but bad. I don't like the third act. And then went on the second plane where I tried to play Switch. Couldn't find a game I liked. The WarioWare demo was good. Felt nauseous. Came here. Immediately started this stream.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
We went to Target though. That was
We went
fun.
to Target
Yeah.
and
He wants to
got Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
We got Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
What's
It's like
hiding there?
excellent.
And then we were late.
It's his hidey spot when things get stressful.
Because we're
This is a
disasters.
very concerning time for my cat. We've blocked off the closet he likes to hide in.
Yeah.
So many new people are in here, but he doesn't know. We've moved all of the furniture out in the main room. He's just wandering around our feet, like a little worried.
We're trying to be nice to him, but he gets.
He's a nice kitty. He's just taking some time to get used to
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Yeah, so we've got a series of questions that I'm just going to go through as they come up.
And I won't look at them. As you warned me at the beginning.
I won't look at them
knowing my
either.
sneaking
Cat is
instinct
such a
would
good
take over.
blocker. That's really good.
You can if you want to, but again, if anyone
I
has
bought
any-
this at Target today.
Yeah, that's part of what we did at
Yeah,
Target.
I bought this hat. It's a Woody hat.
I haven't touched it yet.
Howdy,
but
howdy, howdy.
It looks
Howdy.
so
Oh my
stiff.
God.
Ah, yeah.
This is how chaotic we are. Yes. Oh, yes. Come on.
Gato.
Come into the table.
Don't knock the water.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might come if he sees your water.
He's thinking about it.
Come on, cat on stream.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
jump down.
sorry.
There he goes.
Just
So close.
imagine the cat. I swear there's a cat and we're just
There
not
really is. We're
doing
not-
it to the empty
I'll
air.
post
cat
more
up.
cat pictures if we can't get the cat on stream. I
Yeah.
promise.
So yeah, we're gonna go through a series of questions. If anything pops up, feel free to. So we've got a series of ones. We've got I've split them into 3 categories: thoughts on campaign 1, behind the scenes, of which we have 2,
Categories. Sorry.
3 what I just called silly questions, oh, and then sorry, 5 sections.
I love that Ari and I both separately said categories to our partners, and they dissolved into laughter.
I'm so sorry. Finish the categories, Kyle.
So our 5 categories are thoughts on season 1, behind the scenes, silly questions, about us, and season 2 plans. And we'll do season 2 plans last.
Oh.
And I've actually, on the fly, decided that we are going to go around, and I want each and basically I'm going to have everyone pick a category, and then I will pick a question.
Like
from that
Jeopardy!
category.
Oh, shit.
Like Jeopardy. So who wants to start, Tom or Ari?
Tom.
All right.
All right, Tom, the 4 categories are thoughts on season 1, behind the scenes, silly questions, and about us.
I'll take thoughts on season 1 for 500.
Okay, so let me take a look. Let's start with a pretty straightforward one. Yeah, I can't pull out the Salad Raptor one yet.
Oh my god! And you said it anyway.
You said it anyway.
Fun fact: we realized that it's like as salad in Numenera, and we just still call it Salad Raptor, even though the name is salad.
I mean, I still argue that it's part of his genus.
So you know what? We'll just do that one. Get it out of the way.
God damn it.
The first question is: do you have a line or something you are most proud of? And it specifically says, not Salad Raptor.
Why not Salad Raptor? Why not Salad Raptor? Question asker. What if that was actually my answer?
Is it actually your answer?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
All right, you do that.
I'm gonna think about it. Come to me last.
Well, we can argue that Salad Raptor was your line in the Cookie Crew, but like, how about
That's
in
okay,
Fuzzy
that's a
Friends?
good point.
There you go. And like the main.
Can we
That's a good
restate
point.
the question because I've already lost the thread? I'm so tired.
Do you have a line or some? Do you have a line or some? It just says something, so I'm assuming like some sort of action event, whatever that
Character.
you are most proud
Oh,
of.
also an O.
Yeah.
Mm, that expands.
What I'm
I
most ashamed of.
yeah. I'm not sure about lines specifically because the thing is, there are a few times where I've dropped a line and I've maybe felt, ooh, that feels super cool. But the thing about lines where you feel super cool, especially if they're lines that like I've given a lot of thought to, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to say this and it's going to be super cool. It is never anywhere remotely as cool as I thought it was.
I can't
So,
force it.
I'm going to think more about an action. And that was and I swear I'm not doing a bit here, when Lorraine dumped Hop.
Oh, wow.
God.
Because, like, I
Fucking
think
knew
I mentioned
Fucking knew
before that
Does Hallie deserve this?
the questionable measures arc.
My water's all the way over there.
The whole
So I can do it.
the whole point of the questionable measures arc was that that Hop had this toxic relationship that when he got basically too into it, bad things happened, right? So the idea was this essentially abusive partner of sorts trying to bring him back and prove that he is worthy of her.
Sissel, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Sissel, oh.
Well,
But he's still out of frame.
He's walking all over the keyboard, though.
Ah! Sissel, get down. Hold on. I'm gonna...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hang on.
There is a cat there, I promise.
We'll reveal at the end of the stream that there wasn't a cat at all.
Don't say that, Emily. Because there is one. He's over there. And
But that's what we would say if we were trying to make it until the end of the stream.
No.
This is...
So,
I'm a really good liar.
So while Tom
Yeah, keep answering your question, Kyle.
So the whole point was that, like, you know, she was going to prove he was supposed to prove that he was worthy of her, and then in the end he was going to beat her, and she was going to be like, aha, you're back. And it was going to be this, like, the idea I had was essentially when Hop wins, he still loses. Where by defeating Lorraine, he was still caught in the relationship. And he didn't. He didn't really succeed in that. And so on the cuff, I thought, well, she'd just dump him. And it was one of the first times I really just winged with, like, this is what my character would do. This is what Lorraine would do. And I genuinely surprised myself when I had her do that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't think
Oh, God.
Hops...
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay.
There we go.
That could have gone bad.
I was concerned. Sorry, stream.
I promise there was a cat in all of this disaster.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
Alright, that's fine.
Now it really feels like we're making it up.
I do...
What the fuck is everyone's problem? Why are we so tired?
So Lorraine dumping Hop was an on-the-spur moment, and it helped to solidify his entire story, and I think would have been a lot worse had she not done that. And so that is a moment that I am particularly proud of.
Narrative perspective.
So does anyone have anything else?
I have one. I really like when Misha threw the balls of ants at the blue fairy. I really like that action of mine. And like
I think of you as friends, but also as soldiers.
I don't know. I
God.
really,
Such a good line.
yeah, it's one of my favorite moments.
I mean, that clip is one of the first ones. It's like in the top of what do I need to show quest friends. I'm like, a character talks to their balls of ants and calls them soldiers and throws them at someone's face. Sure.
Perfect. Sounds very Misha aesthetic, so I liked it. That's
I've got one.
Okay.
So in the same few episodes that was in, Hopper like gets his name back from Simon because of all that stuff that Kyle talked about in his answer. And at first, Shock calls him Simon, and he says, "Call me Hop." And then I think it's Sunny and Myra at the party call him Simon, and he says, "Call me Hopper." And then the third time someone asks him, he says, "Hopperscotch." So he takes his name back
yeah.
in stages.
Yeah, I did notice that.
And that was something I did by accident, but it worked out really well at the end.
I didn't realize it was an accident.
I didn't notice it.
It was an accident, but I'm really proud of it.
It was
Yay!
very good.
Yay!
If I had to think about it, I'm really proud of the line "dies when you don't come back" from chapter 2.
Yeah.
Should be.
It's really good.
Sissel.
Try to lure the cat with the cat as well.
I think the table's just slightly too far. He doesn't want to jump. All right,
okay.
that's fine.
All right,
he's gonna lie there
laying
now.
On,
Okay.
he's laying on
We'll
the bed.
move the
just-
webcam over when the time is
You
right.
can't see him now, but you'll see him eventually.
Anyway,
Definitely.
anyone else have any answers to
He's
that?
not in Canada right now.
Emily, what was your
I
favorite
promise.
moment of
I know.
character action?
I don't know.
Hallie, what was your? Oh wait, you
I
already
said
answered.
mine.
All right, Emily,
We'll Well, because I really liked something in the finale that I was proud of, but
Well,
I
you
don't want to
can
spoil it.
we can mention small things, like especially if we just say, "Here's a finale thing for the next 3 seconds."
Here's a finale thing for the next 3 seconds, except it's not actually a spoiler if I just say Ellie was mad.
Ellie was mad.
But I feel like that sums up the moment well.
I'm not
We're just gonna
spoiler.
do
Like, do you want to talk about that moment in more detail after the spoiler warning, or? But we can also not if you don't want to.
I guess. I'm very warm. I was just... Stop laughing. I'm sweating.
We're really
I haven't slept at all either.
Yeah, they arrived really recently from flying and not sleeping.
Also, thank you, Tyler, for your nice comments.
Yeah,
I was...
and I think
I can't see the chat.
yeah,
so.
that is actually
I can barely see.
yeah,
even
that
with
is
my
that
glasses
that
on.
comment comes from our transcriber.
Ooh,
And I
thank you.
realize I've never said her name out loud before. I think it's pronounced Raina. That's from Raina, our transcriber.
Thank you very much.
Yay!
She's a very good transcriber.
Thank you, Reina.
Anyways, yeah, do you want to go in more detail, or do you not? It's up to you.
Sure.
Alright, so spoiler warning, 30 seconds.
Spoiler warning, 30 seconds. I was really happy that I just had Ellie let loose on the Apocrypha because it felt like she had finally gone through this whole arc, and so it was nice to be able to like confront it and fully move past it.
I genuinely thought your character was going to have the toughest time with it, and she just immediately
Yeah.
shuts down.
Yeah.
Okay, but she has a lot of kids. She does not have time for this.
But it was
Same for me to have with friends
Yeah.
instead of kids.
It was so good though that like you were so done by then that you were like, no.
I'm
a
now
badass.
heavily sweating.
It's also very warm in here.
It is
because
very
The
warm.
AC does
Very
not
warm.
circulate well to
All
my
right,
bedroom.
Emily,
Here we are.
what is your
Can
your
you say the
category?
categories again?
Thoughts on season 1, behind the scenes, silly questions, and about us.
About us.
Okay, about us. I think this was a one that honestly I was going to start with if I was doing it, and that was, how do we all know each other?
Oh, Ari was actually answering the question and I was just responding to it. So Ari, say your thing
I
again.
just said college. That's what I said.
We all
That's
went
true.
to a undisclosed college together. I don't know if it's too personal of information to say it, so just
Okay.
We've
I
said it.
we have.
before.
I feel like we
I think we've
we
definitely
all
said
said
it.
it
Rants
on the
about
thing of campaigns
our
past.
college.
Yeah.
We said it on the Ghost of
Yeah.
Campaigns past.
We've gone to Cornell College, not university, one course at a time.
Yeah,
Sure
it's a
did.
place.
Pretty good.
All five
That's
of
where
us.
we went.
That's where we
Um,
met.
Except I didn't know Tom or Hallie.
No, we didn't know
It's
Emily
true.
before.
Yeah.
I did
I
know
met you
Emily,
later
though.
when I was
So-
visiting again after graduation.
Yeah, it was a chain of connections. So I was in class with Ari, science through film and fiction.
Yup. First class ever in
Yep,
college.
where our most notable moment of that was when I was in a state pretty similar to where I am now.
Yeah.
Where I was up all night and I did a 30-minute presentation and I supposedly knocked it out of the park.
He did, yeah.
But I was so sleep deprived, I sat down and I was like, the last 15 minutes of that literally exited my mind
And the thing
as
is,
soon as I sat down.
I thought that he was saying it to brag, and I didn't know him so well, so I was like, wow, what like a terrible guy. I'm like, oh my god, I just like blacked out for the last 15 minutes in this presentation that he just did so well and everybody else bombed, and I was so angry. I was like, wow, who is this guy? Who is this asshole that's just doing this? And yeah, eventually we became friends.
Yeah, and then I got to Tom and Hallie. I guess I'll do my connections because I
Yeah.
connect to most people, and then Tom and Hallie connect separately. So I connected to Tom through our our swing dance organization. Tom and Emily, actually.
Mhm.
Tom was a follow, and we just hung out a little bit. And then Emily was the only person we ever called down to the dance floor that came down. I thought they were a cool sophomore because they were acting super standoffish.
Because I was scared of people.
Wait, what the fuck? I don't think I've heard this story in detail before. What?
You know how like Slick Shoes would yell up at people who were like walking out of the cafeteria, like, "Come, we're doing a lesson." Yeah. Well, I guess nobody else.
No one ever did it.
No one did ever.
It was a bad strategy.
No, you just bother people who are going about their day.
Yeah.
But then.
But you were bullied into joining Slick Shoes? I never knew this.
Yeah.
What?
And then
and then we had class together, and I liked you less.
So,
Very engaged.
yeah, you know how I've mentioned how I was super meticulous about this episode, and I may have published it literally the second before we got on the airplane. Imagine that, but it was a group project, and I wasn't the last step, so Emily was waiting on me to send my stuff.
I had to run to class because he was having me printed out, and everyone else had finished their entire parts of the project. And then I'm messaging Kyle, like, "Where is your part? Are you done? It's time for class." And it was the very last second, and it was terrible.
Yeah, it was
and then I had class with you again, and I was so glad that I didn't have to work.
Yeah, Emily got mad I got an A in that class, even though I didn't finish the short story that was the central,
Ain't that just the way?
project.
That happened so much.
Yeah.
God.
And Ari was, like, intimidating and cool to me as, like, like, you were good at dancing, and you were, like, the cool group of dancer friends in the club, and I was like, wow, Ari's so cool. And Kyle's kind of cool, but he's also the worst after that project.
I'm methodical!
I also remember, because Kyle and I also shared classes, like, a lot, because we shared the same 2 majors, but I remember that Kyle, like, fell asleep usually during tests, and he got an A on those tests, and I was so angry. He was, like, wrote the entire time when the test was done. And
Oh, it's true. I would
And
fall asleep if I was too tired.
And I was like, how did he get a better grade than I did? Yeah.
So, yeah. What can I say? I'm methodical, but I can also pull shit out of my ass if needed.
Yeah.
That's why I make too many notes, and also make up all the things in Quest Friends on the fly at the same time. Before we get to Tom and Hallie, because I think that's the last missing link, I saved Hallie for last for a reason. So there was this thing called New Play Festival where we directed new plays. There's actually a play that someone had written called Getting into College, which was like Getting into Heaven, which was basically all about
Getting into college.
But it was a college metaphor.
Okay.
It was using like Limbo as community college, and I remember I actually argued for that to get into the festival. It was the first one I read that I was like, yeah, I like this. And it almost didn't. But then someone pointed out, like, we've got a lot of, because it was a college thing, so it's like, we've got a lot of really depressing ones. I'm like, listen, we've got this good comedy thing right here. Like, we need some comedy. But that wasn't why. So I also directed as well. And there was this play that was this, like, a fun, frivolous, like, fantastical romance thing. Imagine something Anastasia Brackleberry would write. And we got, and essentially what would happen is every director was part of a pair, and we got 2 plays to put together. So you voted on the plays you liked most. I only really wanted that one, so I put all 100 points in that single play, thinking, there's not a single other person foolish enough to do that. I've got this one for sure.
Surprise! I also bid all my 100 points on that same play. And the poor like play club person was like, this has never happened before, and I don't know what to do about it. But we have another play left over that like it wasn't assigned to anybody. So how would you guys feel about co-directing 2 shows? And we made eye contact, and I thought, not this guy.
I didn't know you thought that.
Well, it was more
You
like
said it.
I did not say it.
You said something snarky.
No, I just looked really snarky because when I am nervous, I like Emily get very standoffish and like no. So, but like I had never met you before, but I knew who you were, and people were always like, Kyle, that guy in the play department.
How did you
in
know
the Nest
who
voice?
I have? I did nothing in the play department.
I know! I knew that too!
Everyone in
Like,
Cornell
the
knows
connections
everyone
in it.
else. Like,
Yeah.
that school is
Yeah.
so
Small
tiny.
college, yeah.
Even if you don't know
But
someone
also-
personally, you have seen them around and know
Everyone
of them
knew
by
Kyle.
reputation.
Everybody knew
Somehow
Kyle.
everyone
Kyle
knew
was
Kyle.
at the center of a lot of
popular in
web.
Like,
college.
we don't
Like,
I just knew, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
he's
I
gonna
like-
hate working with me.
I didn't like go to parties or
no,
anything.
no, he
No.
was so popular.
I just
Everybody
did
knew Kyle.
I just did clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yet, I guess I did do like I guess I did do like I did do a lot of like I would tap into things like theater department never was in a big play, never did committed stuff, but like the writers, I'm like, yeah, I'll go to the writers group each week, write a silly prompt, and then provide some feedback on a thing. 30 minutes. Who gives a shit? And it was
Everybody in the play department gave a shit.
And then, like, linking to that, like, how I met Tom and Hallie's because I did the introvert thing of latching to an extrovert that everybody knows to know people. And so, with that, through Kyle, I met Tom and Hallie. At some point, I was like, oh, I thought Hallie was super cool.
Yeah,
She was
essentially,
like, oh my gosh, she's so intimidating.
there
and
was-
cool.
No.
Like,
No.
I have been pretty open before that that Lorraine was inspired by a actual bad relationship I had.
yeah.
That Lorraine, she was gone for 1 month. And that
It was
not
such
month,
a-
that one
One
It was
semester.
a semester.
Yeah.
And that one
Yeah.
blissful semester
It
was when we all hung out all
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So was, yeah.
They were annexed to our table at lunch,
Yeah.
which was the thing
Which was
at
the
that
thing.
at that school.
Yeah.
Like you had a table that you
Yeah.
and your group sat
You
at,
sure did.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we
Oh,
absorbed
it
you.
was so much fun.
And then finally, the last connection, you two were connected before.
Yeah, we were both transfer students, so they stuck us into the same group at orientation.
That's really it.
That was it. Like our
That was
group,
it.
like obviously a lot of people didn't stay in touch, but like our core group was like people from that group at orientation.
Yeah, that's so
Like-
yeah.
Well, with the exception of one friend who, because we had a couple of geology major friends part of that group, just joined in.
Just
Oh,
joined,
the
they did the
geology
latching
people.
thing. So
Yeah.
we remained close with that group too, with
Yeah.
with our transfer student.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
we're still
Yeah.
good friends with them to this day, and
Mhm.
met with them recently.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
part of the
we-
reason you moved here was because
Yeah,
to
it
spend
was
time
hard
with
to
them.
see people.
Because those friends are all around this area.
Yeah, whereas
so.
like the main people I keep in touch with are us, and Hallie's never leaving where she lives, and
No.
I don't know where the fuck Ari is going.
I don't know where I'm
so
going.
I was like, wow, I could live someplace rent free and actually work on Quest Friends as a serious business thing. Yeah, I'll go wherever the heck I need to for that. I don't know why I stopped swearing. We swear all the time
Yeah,
on the show.
we-
I know.
We've sworn
I-
a lot right now.
Yeah.
All right,
It's effing bullshit.
Effing bullshit, man.
let me. I'm gonna do.
We're not going to get through any of these questions.
I
They're
know.
way too chaotic.
I'm going to answer one myself. I'm going to do a behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is why did I choose Numenera?
Oh.
A lot of this is stuff I'll go into a lot of detail whenever I release Ghost of Campaigns Past again. Short version for me: Tom ran the Strange. Tom ran the Strange. I fell in love with Cypher Systems. Had done Pathfinder before that. Have not played Pathfinder since.
Yeah.
Have played Cypher System a lot since, and I did a bunch of Cypher System one-shots, and I was just like, you know what, I feel... Because I had done, like, 4 or 5 at that point, and I had done... I think Ruby Part 2 was actually after we started Quest Friends, but, like, I had started chaining things together, so I was like, you know what the hey, I'll do a campaign. It should only last a year anyway. And I was like, what should I do? And Tom's like, Numenera, and I'm like, got it. And Tom, why Numenera? This is really a question for you.
Because I wanted to make Shock.
Yeah.
I had been waiting for years for a campaign in which I could play Shock. this character I had created, and I just really wanted to play him, and you gave me that opportunity because you listened to me.
Which is probably why, with Shock and with Lore, there was probably a disconnect with us early on.
Oh, absolutely, because I had spent years with this book, like, poring over its lore.
And it wasn't like Cypher System when I did, because all my one-shots, I never ran a module. Every one-shot I did, like, they were things like, you're in the TV show within the TV show kind of worlds, like over the top or bad superheroes, or Firefly, or Ruby. So it was all like very clear up front, this is what I'm doing, and Ruby is close enough to my shtick that I was able to like do it pretty honorably. But like, yeah, Tom had been poring over the book where I had...
You read like the first section of lore and was like, well, that's all I need. Time to make up the rest.
We were in Navarine. We started Navarine because I read Navarine. I'm like, yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's where you stop reading the book.
Why are Navarine, Key, and Ankawan the three biggest places? Simple. Navarine was first in the book. Key is like third in the book. Unsurprisingly, second in the book, the Sea Kingdom of Gon is one of my favorites. And then Ankawan was part of Tom's Numenera campaign, so I had
it only came back because of Hallie's character's personal connection.
I don't even think I did research on it.
No.
Like,
nope, not at all.
The Pythiran Empire, I didn't even get their name right.
I didn't even remember what their real name is because we said it wrong.
It's what I said. They're the Pythiran Empire.
Alright, that is the real name.
But the Paranthian Empire is what I called them.
Oh no.
Honestly, I couldn't tell anymore because it's been too long. We've been saying it wrong for so long.
Calzoons,
Nothing feels real.
Calzone isn't a real word anymore. Calzoon is the right one.
Yeah.
Every time I see calzone, I'm like,
it's
typo. You needed an editor.
Yeah.
You just said calzone right now instead of... Wait, no, I'm... Never mind.
See? Yeah.
My brain is totally shut down.
From the chat, what about a reason other than, hey, I just want to play this character? Which is true. Like, I want to play a pizza delivery cat girl, so someday I will play Hardwired Island, because... Sorry, a pizza delivery gamer cat girl.
God.
That was it.
That was important.
You can do that in Hardwired Islands. You should, if people out there are interested, you can buy Hardwired Island on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. That's a plug.
The plug unrelated to this show, but
unrelated.
I do need to read the rule book. All right, Hallie, thoughts on season 1 behind the scenes. We're 40 minutes in. Thoughts on season 1 behind the scenes, silly questions, and about us.
We haven't gotten to silly questions yet.
Okay, let's. I have 2 ones I really want to do, so I'm gonna do the big one later.
Okay.
So, this one. You are a fan of Quest Friends and are sitting down to write a self-indulgent fan fiction based on the show. What story do you write? A fix-it fic? Sad character study that is mostly just projection? Weird crossover nobody would think of? The sky is the limit. So before everyone answers, obligatory Patreon plug, Kyle, put in the music in post.
Yes.
Basically all of our short stories are this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
including the crossovers.
And things that aren't, like, all I can think of is, what was it? Oh, I'll mention mine the other day that we talked about. So besides that, and a couple of side, one, and the side project some of us are working on, those are at least contained in the world. So I want to think of something really indulgent. What's something really just indulgent we would want to do? So here's an example of something we talked about in the chat the other day that I just was really tickled by. Here's a spoiler for end of final episode. Spoiler for the final episode. There's a moment where machine control implant is used on the disassembler, and the disassembler becomes a PAL. Alright, so regardless of that, this next part works regardless. But I was like, man, wouldn't it be funny if Shock is like a gift to Hop, reassembled the disassembler, which through data sphere shenanigans turned from being evil to remembering what the fake disassembler did and becoming a friend to Hop and therefore becoming essentially his family dog. That's the kind of stuff I want to write that you'll never hear because it's too indulgent. Oh, another one, and I won't go into detail about this because this is too big on big spoiler stuff, but Mauve was based on a character I made called Violet, and I for years had an idea to use Mauve to bring the actual character of Violet from the old campaign that Mauve is based on into Quest Friends.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that's mine.
I mean, I cannot judge too much because Misha is a character also from that old campaign that is brought into this one, so... Except better. I don't have an answer for this. Oh, I made a mistake by speaking. I don't know, because all of the things that I have written are in the short stories that I have written already. Like all of the crossovers that I wanted to do. So I don't know. I can think of anything. So.
Yeah, and your stuff is pretty good, but it definitely is like indulgence the wrong word, but like the short story you wrote for this week. It's always like here's the stuff that my heart... I can tell that it is the stuff your heart wants to write.
Yeah.
Like, really, really badly.
I mean, there is one that I want to write, but I don't think I'll be able to, but that's too spoilery on the finale, so I don't really want to feel comfortable talking about it here. But, yeah, other than that, I don't have an answer.
Alright, give me your indulgent theories or indulgent fanfiction. You gotta have something, Hallie.
Hallie has a lot.
Okay. My favorite genre of fanfic is hurt comfort.
Yes, come on, tell us.
Off to a great start.
Talk to us about fanfiction, Hallie.
and I'd somehow find a way to make Salad Raptor sad.
Sad lad raptor. Sad lad raptor.
Sad lad. That's his actual name all along.
He has a little newsboy
cap. That's why
cap.
it's pronounced wrong.
He pulls it down over his
he
eyes.
gets a little newsboy cap just for being a sad boy.
I'll never forgive those rotten adults.
Oh my god.
I'd read like a really nice heartfelt story about Salad Raptor going through some hard times and being comforted through them because that's what her comfort's about. I really like that genre of fanfic. That's what I would write if I were being extremely super indulgent.
So for any... He says, I don't think we can top that unless either of you had something. You don't all have to answer.
I've got something.
Oh, yeah, hit it.
If I could write some highly self-indulgent fanfic, I would do more crossovers, more weird crossovers than I've already done.
Oh, like the pathologic one?
Yeah, I would expand my pathologic crossover immensely because there's so many more parallels I had no time to fit in.
Yeah,
I was banned. Kyle banned us from writing more crossovers after I made the pathologic crossover and Ari made the persona crossover.
We had two specific crossovers with other specific
intellectual properties we don't own.
We do not even not even big ones either. Like Persona's pretty big. Persona's a big JRPG, but it's not like Doctor Who or something like that. And then Pathologic is extremely niche, and I was like, extremely. We need these people. And the thing is, I like them. I like both of them a lot, but I'm like, we can't keep doing this.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I give the people what they want, and what they want are my self-indulgent fanfics. That's what this question was about. You want to talk about self-indulgent? I want to write more pathologic fanfiction with Quest Friends characters inserted into that story.
Also
the chat is...
I already have one.
Well, put it on there.
I still remember that I started one because there was a heyday of a lot of Quest Friends fan fiction when the show started. There was some fun stuff. There was some fun stuff. So a couple of things. One, the chat is insisting that they will read the Salad Raptor Hurt Comfort fiction.
Yes.
Oh no! Raina has called it Salad Raptor and Hannelor's Great Vacation.
Oh no! Oh
And you know Olivia would be fully behind this, 100%.
Olivia would write that with me, yeah.
If you ever told anyone in the group that Saliraptor was going through a tough time, Olivia would be the one there. Hannelore would be there for him.
Yeah. And we all know that now that Hannelore is, I guess, tier 4, Saliraptor is her machine companion.
I'm gonna text Olivia with no context later and be like, what if I told you Saliraptor was having a really good
We put the sad in salad.
Anyways, related question.
You aren't gonna ask me?
Did you have an indulgent thing?
It's not as good as the Salad Raptor one.
We can't hit that high again, so go ahead.
I want to hear what your indulgent thing would be.
I would just like to write about Sunny and Myra living happily with a garden and a cottage in the countryside because there was the line in the episode where Myra says that she thought Sunny was a firefly, and that has stuck with me since that happened.
As is their right. This is good shit.
Related to fireflies, because I think that's going to come up. Someone in the chat asked a related question. What short story are you most proud of?
Oh, well, I can go related to fireflies. I really like the one with Misha and the dreams with Shock and the dandelion. I don't know, like
is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I have a little sticker of it here. It's hard to see.
I wrote it first exclusively at first because I wanted somebody to make a fan art of that.
But I
do really like it, and it's based on the song Fireflies. Whatever.
I'll get it.
Thank you.
It's based on the song Firefly.
Yeah, because I wanted that meme, and then I was like, I actually like this story a lot. And
it's a really good story.
I'm really proud of it.
You should be.
Yeah. We should be figuring out what dreams are by following dandelions.
It's really cute.
Yeah. Social moment. Yeah.
And then, that, and if you go on Twitter, our icon is the artwork based on that
from
one.
that story.
Yeah.
Shock telling Misha what dreams are.
Okay. I've written what? Wait. Did I write one?
You've written at least one.
Oh, I've written two. I've written two short stories. That is true. So it's pretty. It's one of two: the Lorraine one or the Jessie one. And you will be glad to know it's not the Lorraine one. That one was fine. Because I'm gonna do most of the short stories from this point out for the Patreon, just because I still open it to everyone, but because I have more time, I'm gonna take that on as I'm responsible if no one can do it. And I wrote one where I don't remember if this one. I don't think I made. This one might have been publicly available. I can't remember. But essentially, I joked that Jessie went on their own quest friends with a group called Papaya Pals. So I basically wrote the beginning and end of a transcript of an adventure from the podcast Papaya Pals. And it was 13 pages, and in 4 hours, I just knocked that bad boy out because I've edited so many episodes. The idea of writing an actual play was secondhand nature to me. It just spewed out. I knew that, and I knew the characters I was writing super well because there were three characters there who were in universe, and one basically didn't speak, and the other two were Jessie and Vera. Because I really, and this may come up more, I have no reason to do more with Vera, but I really want to do more with Vera. So, is saying that she went off and maybe turned heel a little bit or did something off with the Papaya Pals is my thing. The podcast from another universe. God, yes. All right, but other people who have written more short stories than I have, because everyone has a bigger library than I do.
I think my favorite that I've done is the one where Vespari and Hamish become friends.
Oh yeah, that one's really cute.
Weird burp. Yeah.
And
sorry,
Kyle was like, well, this doesn't fit into the campaign, so it can't be canon. And then he dropped when one of the most recent episodes came up, he dropped a bunch of details from that story.
So it is canon.
It's absolutely canon.
Canon.
100%.
And you should be ashamed of yourself for doubting
You should be on the regular. But...
That was a great story, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, so when Vespari just started going, my good friend Hamish, that was because of Emily's short story. They were never good friends. They just met, like, a day before.
But that's on par for Vespari.
Yeah.
And the Vespari buttons.
Yeah. Which I'll make those someday. Those are going to be, and they may still be, those are going to be the Patreon subscriber bonus this year, but I wasn't able to get them taken care of. But who knows? Who knows? All right, Tom and Hallie.
Damn it, I guess I have to go. It's hard to say, because I'm so relentlessly mean to all of my work, and I hate everything as soon as it's finished. But the one thing I don't hate is my self-indulgent pathologic fanfic. So I'm gonna say I'm most proud of that. I was even if the first scene just didn't work, and I had to send it to you anyway because I was literally out of time. There was zero time left. It had to go up. I was really proud with how every other scene worked. And it's just nice. I like it.
It's, even though I had to ban it, it is very good, and I really, really like it too.
Thank you.
Can I say another one of yours I like?
But it was good.
Yeah, what's another one of Tom's you like?
I really like the one with Horace discovering the big giant in the wheel.
That's
Like,
so
it
good.
was, I don't know, I really loved it. Very mysterious, but like really wholesome too.
Tom has been writing a lot of horror stories, which are very, very fascinating to me, because the wheel as it appeared, and Horace even as a character, was very different from what Tom imagined originally. At least I believe they were.
Yeah.
But your short stories, at least to me, not knowing not fully understanding what you originally meant, seemed to bring some of that original spirit to the characters while still keeping them authentic to how they appear in the show.
That's true. It was a weird feeling to see these characters pass out of my realm of control. So it was nice to write some Horace and Jekyll stories. But, yeah.
Hallie, do you have any favorite thing you wrote?
I can't decide is the thing between
He's so
Between-
cute.
Sorry.
the cat who exists is.
He's
Should
like,
I just get up and move
No.
Just move the camera
Just
for a
move the
second.
camera.
They have to
He's
see.
just like twitching because he's falling asleep on the bed, and it's the cutest thing.
Yes,
There he
little
is.
guy.
It's a real cat.
Yeah, it's a real cat, and it's hard to see, but he twitches.
Yeah, you
every
cannot
once,
see
like,
at all
yeah.
from my webcam, but he's so cute.
It's
He's
a
just
real
switching
cat,
his little paws.
And not a t-shirt that we rolled up to make look like a cat.
It's
not
just
that.
a sleeping cat, though.
No.
That twitches when I sleep.
Oh!
Twitching. Oh.
He's having a dream.
He's dreaming. Anyway.
Mine is really a tie because I'm really proud of both my Anastasia getting Odo
Which is
origin
my
story, which
first
is the very
story.
first one,
Yeah, that was very good.
or the Meet Cute for Hop's dads that I wrote.
That's
that takes
that
place in
was
the
also
coffee
very
shop because,
cute.
like, I think that's the better story. But I had to think of because Anastasia's original pet was just Pidgeotto, and so I had to like not have that be a thing. So I renamed him Odo for Quest Friends. But then in the story at the end, he trills like Odo, Odo. I can't do that in the story, but that's how I imagine that he trills. And I was just like, he says his name like a Pokemon, like a shortened Pokemon. So I got around it, but didn't at all. And I don't know. I don't think it's good. I'm just fond of that moment when
As
he
you
says
should
his
be.
name.
Yeah,
But
it
like
is very good.
the Mewtwo story's like better, so I don't know.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
All right. That was Hallie. So, Ari, thoughts on season 1, behind the scenes, silly questions, or about us?
Behind the scenes, I want to.
Okay. This one is for me. It's going to be a relatively quick one. I wish I brought it. How was the voice of Stein made?
Oh!
I want you to go online right now. I want you to type in automaton, Automaton, sorry. OTAMATONE. And then the name of your favorite song. I will put in Pizza Time from the Spider-Man PS2 game.
Why? That's so specific.
And it is an instrument.
Really is incredibly specific.
Yeah.
That has like this weird, silly looking face. And sounds like this. So this is from a channel that does a lot of automaton videos.
I don't think they can see
You can't see it.
Well,
And I can't get up to see. But anyways, it's a silly looking instrument that has a face and it's adorable. And at some point someone said, this seems like a Misha instrument.
Yeah, I did it because I didn't know what they were until somebody in my work mentioned them, and I was like, "Oh, why didn't I pick an automaton instead of a kazoo?" And then Kyle just corrected.
Yeah. And thank you, Jellyfish. Scare me. Yeah, Sully G is the one who does a lot of really fun videos. And yeah, so Ari said that, and I was working on the characters for Misha's backstory, and I was like, even though Ayn was meant to be a little more in the middle of was she right or was she wrong or a victim than she ended up being, because I got anxious when everyone was mad at her. I wanted her and Stein to have something that, like, why would they have become friends with Misha? And I'm like, if Ayn's suit spoke like an automaton, one, I wouldn't have to voice him, and two, it would have that fun little connection, because that was such a Misha thing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until just now, but that's okay. I mean, he still liked Stein.
Alright, so we are out of behind the scenes questions. We only had the two.
Oh.
So we're going to go around again. Tom, thoughts on season 1? Silly questions, or about us?
Let's go about us.
Alright, this question is for Ari.
Oh, okay.
Ari,
No, I know what it is.
can you
okay.
explain what you're getting your PhD in?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I knew this question was coming. TLDR, because this is, I am getting my PhD in neuroscience, and I'm specifically studying this fish that is the worst, but, well, it's the worst to me. It's actually a really cool fish because it's transparent, and you can see the entire brain of this fish. So I look at, like, how the brain fires and the neurons fire when it's doing cool stuff like learning or being social with other fish. So that is my really quick spiel to what I'm doing and getting my PhD on. So TLDR neuroscience, that's it. And a fish that hates me.
Asshole fish.
An asshole fish that hates me, yeah.
Alright. And none of us have anything nearly as interesting for what we do. So we're going to move on.
no.
Emily, thoughts on season 1? Silly questions or about us?
Thoughts on season 1?
Okay, thoughts on season 1. Do we want to talk about... let's do this one. So is there anywhere you wish the story would have gone but just didn't have the time to do, quote-unquote, side quests you would have liked to explore? So I have a...
Answer it for you.
Vera,
Redemption.
Vera, yeah, essentially redemption arc. She didn't need one, but, like,
Did she even deserve one? Huh?
not really. The thing is, Vera was a perfectly serviceable villain, but there was nothing super, super remarkable about her. But I am still very fond of her. And I think in the context of Jessie with Papaya Pals, she could do some interesting things. So that is one. And then the other one, the other two are Jetco is something that is that people early on thought was like. I remember I saw theories early on being like, man, Jetco, they're the real villains, and like they're gonna be important. And they are the real villains of Quest Friends, but they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
But I have had ideas for a Jetco story, which actually ties in with and I don't want to go into detail here about spoilers, but there is a story, a bigger project I'm working on some of us are working on concerning 3 characters who really didn't get a lot of time for reasons. But that is all I will say on that. Obviously, clearly, it's the Penny brothers and their relationship with Vespari.
Yeah.
But anyways, without the shameless advertisement, the simplest one is Vera. Vera is the thing I would explore the most. But I would probably, as I did with Papaya Pals, I would probably return to the lives of the rich and famous in the Ninth World and related to Jetco and stuff like that as well. What about other people? Things the story would have gone but didn't have the time to do, side quests you would have liked to explore.
I'm struggling with it because I feel like everything just ended up fitting so well for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was mapped out really well and fell into place with how it was set up really well. So I actually think it would be fun to explore more with the Cookie Crew because we had less time with those characters. Whereas, like, especially now that we've played through, like, actual epilogues, it feels like this has sort of come to a close, and even though, of course, there are little random things that you're always gonna, like, be like, oh, I should have included that. Like, I feel like it feels wrapped up to me, but the Cookie Crew didn't have epilogues in the same way, so they would be something that I would be, like, feel more interested in.
That is true. I was forcing them into the epilogues a lot. But also, like, I remember there were 2 Cookie Crew things I really wanted to do. One was that there's a character that Hallie wronged in her old game that she felt really bad about, so I really wanted to, like, have another session where Anastasia could redeem it in our universe. But that was mostly for Hallie. But the other one was that there was this fucking doofus guy you met in your in one of your games, right? This prince or something. Yeah. That Anastasia had a flirting with. So I had the story idea that I really liked of, like, at a bachelorette party, essentially being held for someone else. Anastasia gets flirted with by a cute guy or gal and is really weird about it. And the Cookie Crew finds out that she's been hung up on this doofus prince for years and goes on a quest to, like, reunite them or something, which originally was mentioned in the final episode, but it was so self-indulgent I cut it.
That's basically canon.
That's something that needs to be its own thing. Like, that would be, like, a special.
That would be a special. We can make this.
It deserves to stand on its own, you know?
We can make that a thing.
No.
Yeah.
I think Emily gave me an idea of what would be mine. I also think that Misha's story is, like, fully wrapped up too, and I wouldn't, like, I don't know what I would do with Misha's, but I liked for the Cookie Crew, for Alex to have interacted more with Hopper specifically, because I feel, I mean, they did, but, like, the context in which they did was really specific and very, like, we need to go because there's this, like, the apocalypse is coming into this town, so, like...
It was Hopper dragging them like lambs to the slaughter!
Yeah.
Don't say that!
Well, true for Aerith, at least.
It is
Don't say that!
But I just feel like Alex and Hopper would get really... God.
I feel like Alex and Hopper would what, Ari?
I feel like they would get along pretty well because they both like math a lot and they both like James and Hopper a lot, which is also, well, I mean, I shoved that in so that Alex could talk more with Hopper. But, like, I feel like they would just get along.
No, they really would. And I was also disappointed that, like, they didn't, that the context of the scene where Hop recruits the Cookie Crew has to be, like, quick and urgent and all that because of everything that's happening.
Ended up being 40 minutes, but couldn't go on.
Okay. But, like...
Nothing in role-playing games is fast.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, but
40 minutes
but, like, between Alex and Hopper, there wasn't, like, and I know you cut some stuff, but, like, in the context of the show...
No, you are absolutely right. I was just being a jackass.
The thing is, Hopper would get along on an individual level with
Yeah.
every Cookie Crew member, even Ig, I think. Ig would take the longest for them to click together, but he would get along with everybody. And I would really love to have been able to integrate the Cookie Crew more, but it was so hard with the main plot because we didn't want to detract too much from the story, and we also when we do want a side quest or something little, Kyle is so good about letting us do whatever we want or making it tie back into the main plot somehow that I at least never felt like I missed out on anything. But I would also do the Cookie Crew for stuff.
I mean, I think it's telling that you haven't written, but I know the last couple of things Ari, or it may have just been the last short story you worked on, Ari, but the last couple of short stories in general we produced have been Cookie Crew themed. I feel like
we have a handful. Yeah,
we've had a handful recently, and they weren't themed months. It was just people being I want to write a Cookie Crew story because I know that this month.
Yeah, the last one I made that's
is a Cookie Crew one, which is why I said Ari's name. But I know there were some other ones that I can't remember off my tongue.
Oh, my last one was Cookie Crew too.
That was it.
Yeah, because it was Madeline.
That's right.
It was Madeline.
Yeah.
They're just writing about their ship every time.
Yeah, I'm really invested on that ship because it's really rivals turned lovers.
I don't think they were turned lovers. I think it's an and.
Rivals/lovers? Question mark? Yeah.
All right, Tom. What about you?
I'm gonna go for an unusual answer, which I will first disclaimer by saying like everyone else has said, I don't feel like we missed out on anything in Quest Friends. This captured so much and resolved so much that everything feels complete, and it feels weird to say there's something more that I would like. And also, I know for practical reasons, these things could not have possibly happened. I would have literally died. But I'm
excited to see where this goes.
Yes. Oh, you know where this is going. I'm sad there wasn't another phase to the lady boss fight and to the Apocrypha boss fight because they both felt like they were gearing up for another phase.
I would have died.
And I was so
one.
And I was simultaneously hyped, but each of those things ended at midnight my time anyway.
Oh, I meant died as in my character would have died. No.
I mean that too. But we could not have possibly done it. We were very good to call them. You did very well to call them where you did.
Yeah. So I won't go into all the phases of the Apocrypha fight because I think it's fair to talk about spoilers of a fight that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But essentially, because I didn't have a second phase for the lady fight, but the Apocrypha fight, I actually had a final phase that I'm having listened to the episode. Ari, could you go up and press transition?
What?
Up at the top.
Transition? Oh,
I don't think that was a Haas, but...
Oh, this!
Yeah. Just click that. Thank you.
Is it
Yeah. The thing I did to remove the alert box wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, thank you for following. I couldn't see the name. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
But the Apocrypha, I've been listening to a lot of Sonic Final Boss music, and as you know, you should. At the end of any modern Sonic game involves you going supersonic and flying against a giant enemy. So you weren't going to be flying, but you were functionally going to be, as you were running through memories, appearing all around you. And if you're I want to get to the top, it was going to be you run up, and then this ladder from inside the pit appears, and you jump, or suddenly the Kool-Aid Man throws you up into the air. Essentially it would be described as this wave of memories just coming through and helping you get wherever you wanted to go, going full ham. There is something that happens during the actual fight that requires the use of XP. I won't say what it is for anyone who hasn't played. That was going to be free. You weren't going to have to spend anything for that in the final phase. And I was going to have, big attacks. The Apocrypha was going to throw the literal prodigious at you at one point, just with, Ezra screaming, as this giant ship came careening towards you. And it was going to be a bunch of level 10 attacks. It was going to be real cool. But I started the description, And then I looked at the time and everyone's faces, and I said, you know what? Let's just do this other thing that I was going to have in addition to the final phase anyway, and it would have just been too much. In the end, pacing-wise, that final phase, I think, would have had to been in place of what the final phase that appears in the campaign. And I do think that final phase is better, but... And I hope I'm not jumping on your answer too much, Tom, but like I at least on that one, I fully agree. I still to this day am haunted. I'm like, but I can't play Sonic music when thinking about the final boss of Quest Friends.
No, like it's pure, it's video game logic ultimately. Like if it was a video game, these fights would each have had another phase. But like we absolutely could not have, because I would have dropped dead on the spot if we had to go any longer. It had to be what it had to be, and it also would have just been way too long with the finale with another phase of combat.
Yeah,
like
there was already a lot.
Even Aegon had a cut phase, which was because you skipped it. But like, video game is, I think, the perfect way to describe it, because Aegon was very explicitly based on Sephiroth from the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like, I listened to that song. One of his final attacks is similar to Sephiroth dropping the comet on you. Was his final phase where he does something similar, is inspired by that. And yeah, it only worked in that episode because that episode was explicitly, this is probably the last time Quest Friends will do an explicitly gamey fight. Unless we do like a trapped in a video game episode or something. But even then, I'll do something else, probably.
Yeah, it will be bullshit rather than a straightforward RPG battle.
Was that me who picked that?
Was it you or was it Tom?
It was Tom.
Yeah, I feel like Emily's next, right?
No, Emily picked. It's Kyle's turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, well, I will do. We have a lot in thoughts
that's
on
right,
season
yeah.
1, so I will do. Okay, I'll do this one. Another nice short one. What is the meanest thing Kyle has done?
I don't know. Like in Quest Friends?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Fucking wow!
No, I'm sorry. Well, I guess that's where my accidental sense comes from. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it to come out that way. Christ. Well, okay.
Quest Friends, yes.
Sometimes I wonder, like, why are my NPCs so, like, accidentally dunking on people sometimes? And then it's like, oh, I guess this one. Okay, I need to think about it. That's not what I meant, though.
I also have to think about this because where to start?
I don't know what the auto captions did, but I think they were misbehaving according to the chat.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I see lick, and I don't think any of us. One of us.
Lick.
They're still screaming.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to,
so
Kyle.
anyways, everyone think of your answers while I learn what the heck it said, assuming... Or maybe we'll just learn after the fact.
Yeah,
someone clip it. Someone clip it, and we'll watch it.
I saw a lot of AC lick repeated in the captions that I could see from here, so I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know.
So what's the meanest thing I've done?
Okay, let's see.
Lorraine. There. That's it. That's me. That's
Yeah,
that's-
there you go.
As you're
Yeah.
right.
Literally dumping my trauma on you.
Well, actually, no, I do have one. For me, I think it was the whole reveal with Carl and Misha and Emily and all of that stuff.
That was
I
really mean.
Yeah.
That was fucked up. You lied to so many people.
for such a long time.
You
Yeah.
lied. You looked your fiance in the eyes, held their hand, and lied to them. And
Honestly, I don't know
smiled.
how you got away with that.
It was a big twist.
It's.
It was
I'm
important to
impressed,
me.
actually.
Like, normally
it was
you
a very
can't
Normally,
trick
he
you.
cannot lie to me, but I think I didn't want to believe.
So, yeah,
Oh,
I consider
no.
it
He
pretty-
made a good point about how narratively it would be too many connections and blah blah blah.
I think
I bought it.
I think that's the worst part is that you didn't just lie to Emily. You also had conversations where you unprompted brought up how it doesn't really matter finding Carl's killer because it would be so thematically inappropriate and not everything needs to be tied up neatly and we can't have all these connections between characters.
I remember because you called that storytelling decision really mature, and in my brain I thought, fuck.
Because I believed the things you told me. I was like, yeah, it's okay for this mystery to never get solved because the point is to move on. But no, it was big twists all along, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a worse writer for having done that. I'm just flabbergasted that you went out of your way to spin us this web.
You really did.
Just for a big twist.
In retrospect, I'm surprised that I was so surprised that everyone was upset at the twist.
It was a good twist. I'm surprised you were surprised.
I don't know why. Yeah, okay.
I can't tell, which time you took away my esoteries should I be most mad about?
Oh, yeah.
My character who only does magic lost the ability to cast magic so many times across the course of this game.
2 out of 6 campaigns during one climactic boss fight.
That's right.
I had severely reduced powers for most of Chapter 2.
Literally second session onward. No.
Yeah, right?
Yes, second session onwards. You got bit in our second session.
Yeah. And it only got worse inside the heart of Charmander. I lost my powers during the boss fight on the Prodigious, which admittedly was a specific thing.
Thematically appropriate with Vera's thing too.
I don't think that was the meanest one, although I couldn't understand it at the time. I was just so flabbergasted. I think the meanest one is probably Chapter 5. Maybe the meanest one is the one turn it landed on you can't use nano abilities during the final battle with the Apocrypha. Dice rolls.
Yeah.
And only that one area. And they would change every single turn, so it's not like anyone was guaranteed to spend time in a given area.
So for anyone who listens to the finale, there's a point where Tom could have lost his nano powers on his final turn, and I said, luckily, you're not in this place when it's in this shape.
It was my last turn! I forgot that! Literal last turn of the game, you took away my magic again! And you had to backtrack!
Yeah, and then I did it, and Tom's like, Kyle, this probably is my final turn. I'm like, you know what, you're right. Have your powers back.
Collectively taking my magic away, that's the meanest thing it's not actually the meanest thing you've done, but I feel like we have to add it to your list of sins because it was so prevalent. You did it to me on the end and backtracked because you realized it was too mean.
It's honestly top on my list. I think it's the meanest. The worst part is Tom and I, somewhere around chapter 3 or 4, had a long conversation. Not a long one, but we talked about how, I was like, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. It was so mechanically important to you.
Yes, I was frustrated in Chapter 2.
And then Chapter 5 happened, and it was
and that was much worse. Which admittedly was partially my own fault.
We had talked about it at length, about, if we do this consequence will happen. And storytelling-wise, it'll be really cool. But you won't have your powers.
It's fine. It became really wholesome in the end.
It did.
But, God.
I think.
Oh God, we're still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
It's not. Look, we have gone through 4 years of you throwing stuff at us.
It's true. We've suffered a very long time.
I'm excited to start from scratch.
God.
Jesus
Emily,
fucking
you're
Christ.
being too nice. Ellie needs to leave her family.
That's right.
Yeah,
you
that's right.
You punished Emily for a story
that's
development
right.
that you had her do.
Yeah.
And then you brought it back. And we're like, well, she can't be forgiven.
That's
And
what the
then just-
sensitivity
I
reader
know.
said.
But
You were the one who made Emily do that in the first place.
She didn't have to not be forgiven because she didn't have to.
She had to do something unforgivable. God fucking damn it, Kyle.
But tell me the Brackleberry story wasn't engaging.
That was really loud.
But
that was louder than I
also,
thought it
We've
would.
The
destroyed
reveal of-
everyone's ears.
You saying, "Oh, you like guilted me once or twice about how Ellie never went."
That's the thing.
back.
No.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And
because
then-
Kyle gloats.
Yeah,
like, Kyle
felt
makes
really
you
bad
do
about
something, and then he gloats about how you did the thing he compelled you
Right.
to do.
It's like a video game when they make you make a choice and then they make you feel bad about whichever one you picked. It's like that. He's like one of those choice video games.
Did I tell you I really like Spec Ops The Line?
Like, God.
Kyle.
Yeah, so you kept making me feel bad about that, and then you were like, "Well, I guess it doesn't matter unless
it does.
Like there was the time, unrelated, but in our Ruby campaign, Tom made a broken character, and then he realized it was going to be a campaign, so he's like, "Well, you can do this thing to help unbreak the character." He was literally throwing me a bone, but the consequences of that led to his girlfriend dumping him because of how his character would have
And
acted.
you gloated about how my character's girlfriend was going to inevitably dump me in the next session because of my character going down like a rough patch and pushing people away.
The chat, the players are collectively Martin Luther, RIP headphone users. When you arrive at the pearly gates, the Lord will read this list and be like, "WTF, Kyle?" And then I'm a little late, but I came by to give my love and support for making such a great story that I've been listening to for a long time.
I'm sorry, we're not laughing at Kyle. It's just very funny. Right on the heels of us yelling at Kyle for everything he has ever done to us.
We're really glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
thank
for
you
your
so much
support.
for that
nice comment.
Yeah, that was a really nice comment.
Okay,
Cecil is so distressed by our shouting.
I'm sorry.
alright, Hallie,
Slip
What?
sometimes.
thoughts on season 1, silly questions, or about us?
Let's go about us.
About us. Let's do this one. What are... Well... Yeah, because the Midwest is a very boring answer. One is, where are you all from? And congrats.
Well, it's not all of us.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Mexico, Arizona, the Midwest. Congrats.
Yay!
Illinois is a place.
Illinois.
It doesn't just have to be the Midwest.
So what are your favorite foods and what books do you enjoy?
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's two questions.
Oh, this is it.
So
Okay.
I don't read. That's answer number 1. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's the closest I've gotten to a book in an embarrassingly long time. The thing is, I like books when I read them. I just don't read them. Favorite food. I don't know what is my favorite food.
I thought you were about
I
to say
didn't-
cheese.
I thought you were going to make a joke of like, "Oh, Emily," because you're. I was
Yes,
very uncomfortable
now.
with you like leaning on me.
I didn't care for that.
I was very concerned when
Yeah,
you like got really quiet and then started leaning on me.
I'm X-carding all of this immediately.
Right?
Delete this from the VOD. I don't want this.
You know that's what they're gonna clip. I'm sorry.
Anyways, yeah, there's... I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to solidify too much where we are. But there's literally a chicken place.
God fucking
Oh my god, why is it
Motherfucker.
here?
I've been hankering for real bad.
Jesus
It's
fucking
not even
Christ.
my favorite food, but it's what's on the brain right now. So that's
Kyle
my
hasn't
answer.
stopped talking about this fucking
Every
chicken
time.
shack since he first had it,
Yeah.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
For apartment hunting for me.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, what is everyone else's answer? And the chat asks, have any of us read House of Leaves?
No, it sounds too scary for me. I'm too scared to read the House
I
of Leaves.
haven't heard about that, so...
Oh, so you know what it is? For a second I thought you were just like, this title is too scary.
No, I've learned about it back when I was like into Slenderman as a teen.
Is it like
I still don't really understand what Slenderman is.
Oh, well, I guess to first answer House of Leaves, it's a book about these characters who find themselves in weird situations, like architecture doesn't make sense, creepy kids, like
Okay.
typical horror stuff, but as I understand it, like, they keep finding these stories of people, like, also going through weird situations, and it keeps going deeper and deeper through layers of people keep reading these stories about people who are also in the labyrinth.
Okay.
Because it's always, like, a labyrinth and a monster
Yeah.
hunting them. So, of course, with the implication... You're reading a book now about a story trapped in the lab. I learned about that on Wikipedia, and I was like, nope, not for me.
I love it. Okay.
Too scared. But it's exactly your shit, Ari.
It's exactly Ari shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I should answer next.
Yeah.
Favorite food. I could just do the meme answer and say burgers.
There it is.
Here we go.
There it is.
It's became a running joke because I get burgers oftentimes.
Burgers. Can I tell my thing? Can I tell my story?
Fine.
he came to visit me once, and we went out for lunch, and he complained about how all he'd had to eat for the last several days were burgers and eggs, and he was so excited to get something else. So what he ordered was a burger with an egg on top, and I flipped my shit. Like, I was so mad at him. You could have gotten literally anything else off the menu. It's a fucking breakfast place.
It was their specialty!
No, it wasn't!
What? Wasn't it?
No!
Wasn't it? I thought that was their specialty.
Well, like eggs in general.
Yeah, but like...
And the burger, though. Why
But like, I had only
burger?
just learned that eggs on burgers were a thing very recently before that. Like
Okay.
a few weeks ago. And it was
Yeah,
just such
but
a weird, novel concept. It was like, oh wow, I've encountered this thing again. I'm so curious.
That's why he likes burgers.
And that was fucking... It was what? That was 2014. That was almost 10 years ago! It was almost 10 years ago!
10 years ago! Holy shit, we've been friends for almost 10 years!
Yeah!
That's why did you say that?
2014 was
Time
almost
isn't real.
10 years ago?
It's getting close.
Oh, yes,
7.
don't.
Oh,
Right? Oh my god.
Oh shit, we've passed Ari and my 10-year
Feel
friendversary.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, good.
Oh, we did.
Well, Tom likes burgers. Conclusion.
Ellie's been telling this fucking story to people for 7 years or however long it is.
Yeah, every opportunity.
Every single chance it
every
comes
single
up.
time.
Anyway, books. I like a lot of different kinds of books. I like reading nonfiction books at times. I like mystery novels. I like fantasy and science fiction. Like what are some more specific examples? I'm quite fond of the Witcher novels. I read them before I had played the video games as a true fan of The Witcher.
Okay.
What are some other things I really like that are books? I'm blanking on things right now, so I'm not going to say anything more.
Well, you said what kind of books you like.
I like many different kinds of books.
Yeah.
All sorts. That's why somebody else go. No, let me stop talking.
I like shrimp.
At first, I thought you were going to talk about books, and then I like shrimp. I was like, what?
I really like shrimp. Butterfly
Is there a book
shrimp.
called Shrimp?
Well, butterfly
That's
shrimp
so
is
good.
my birthday meal every year.
Oh, that's so good.
Except this year. And,
I mean, is it on the menu at that wedding?
no.
Man.
Season 2 include a book titled
Shrimp.
Shrimp.
Sure.
Are you going to be okay about shrimp, Emily?
This is not like shroom or like
Shrimp.
Ranch.
got this. I can kill people by saying things like this.
Strawberries.
Strawberries. God.
What books do I like? I really
You can
like
bully Emily too.
slice of life family drama stuff. Like what is her name? Ann Tyler, I think it is. I really like her. Who's it? Ann Perry. Shoot. I hate when I can't remember author names. One of my favorite books of all time is called The Gentleman in Moscow.
Oh, that's really
We
good.
both, which is historical fiction. I really like. I've been getting into historical fiction a lot more lately. It's good stuff. That's it.
I guess that's a good transition to me
Yeah.
because one of my favorite type of books is historical fiction. I really like historical fiction books,
Victor
especially
Hugo.
what?
Victor
Victor
Hugo.
Hugo, yeah, my favorite book
Oh, yeah.
is Les Miserables. I don't know how to say it. Les Miserables.
Miserables.
Yeah,
So
I love that book. It's it's so much better than the musical. I also like 100 Years of Solitude, so I like magical realism books a lot, and like books that connect stories between like different generations of families and like that go like that. And usually historical fiction books are like that too, because they go through historical periods. I really like that. But then I also, when Tom mentioned House of Leaves, there's this short story I really like. I also don't remember the author, but it's in Spanish and it's called like The Continuity of Parts or whatever, and it's about this guy reading about this guy that's like running through a park, running away from a monster. And then at the end, the guy ends up finding a guy that's reading a book, which like, and it describes the like seat where the guy that's reading a book is. And it turns out that it's like that same guy at the end of the book. So he's reading about this guy that's running like straight into him in the book. And that's basically the whole story. I spoiled it, but it's in Spanish and it's really good. And then food, I really like shrimp too. I really like
We
shrimp.
gotta make shrimp this week.
And I mean,
had it
I
last
live without like too revealing, but like I live in a place that has a lot of like seafood and stuff, so I love going and getting like the best shrimp when I go home because it's just so good. Yeah, it's real good. I used to not like shrimp, but now I love them a lot. So that's what I got.
I like sugar. I like
Emily really likes.
chocolate.
So
Gremlin.
today I got Shake Shack.
It's candy
Not
corn
Shake Shack.
time. They're selling candy corn at the grocery store again.
Half the time when I get
That's right, you love
food,
candy corn.
and I'm
I
like,
love
hey,
candy corn.
How-
God.
Black licorice.
No.
Truly cursed.
half the time when I
This
get
is
like,
worst answers.
half the time when I get like a meal from something, I'm like, Emily, what do you want? And they'll be like, a shake, a malt, the thing of ice cream, and I'm like, that's not lunch, Emily.
It's food. I eat it.
And you scold me for not eating things properly.
Well, that's because you. At least it's food. I'm eating food.
Potato, tomato.
No! I really like compilations of different like fairy tales or folk tales.
Mhm.
It's really interesting, like when you have them from like a specific region or something. And then if you get like multiple books from different regions, you can do like different analyses and see where like the different stories. It's really cool. I really like studying fairy tales and also just reading them, and I really like books about drawing and painting and stuff because it's so interesting to look at like how other people approach art. And I feel like also I always think that it's gonna make me a better artist and like improve my craft, and that I don't take any of the advice. But I like reading them still.
That's valid.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're on the end of our second pass. We're at 9:30, so I'm thinking one more question, then we move into kind of the wrap-up Season 2 questions on the final one, or we can do another round, go till 10, and then do those, but I figure maybe just head to the wrap-up. What do we want to do? Because the main thing we got left is a bunch of thoughts on Season 1, things like favorite chapters, world-building stuff like that. We want to go through those on, like, rapid fire, or... Alright, so in that case, Ari, I will just have you, because we only have this one category, because I want to save the last silly question for the very, very end of this, because it's a banger.
The dread in Hallie's face.
I am
just
so,
for a second.
Ari, any of these bolded questions, pick one of them for thoughts on season 1.
Oh, okay.
And then after this, we will segue into the end of campaign.
Oh, I have one for me. Well, there's 2 questions that are.
I mean, we can do both. If that's
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, just do both.
Let me read the other ones. Okay, yeah. So the first one is just how has the campaign affected your playing GMing style? So that's just like a pretty.
Okay.
Simple. And then the other one is if you could tell anything to yourself from 4 years ago on the day of recording the first episode, what would you tell yourself, or perhaps you wouldn't say anything?
Okay.
And that's the one that got me the most because I have a really specific answer for me. And that is I would teach my past self to do the Misha voice so that I didn't have that awkward moment when I go back to listen to those episodes or Cal pulls clips from those episodes and it's just me with a cadence that I thought was good and it's still just me and it's so awkward. So that's what I would tell myself from 4 years ago. I would be like, please do this voice. You think you're doing a voice, but you're not. Please do this voice instead. And how it affected my playing GMing style, I feel like, playing, I guess, in my case, I feel like I've become more confident with character voices, too, now, because of this campaign.
You really commit to them now.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. And, I don't know, I had other things, but you go and answer, and then I'll come back to another thing that I forgot, because I just forgot about my other thing, so I have other answers.
Couple of quick ones for me, and then I'll step back. So, affected my GMing, playing and GMing style. My GMing style used to be a lot more map-based. I would have a physical location, and it would be, you do this, and vaguely this, and get to these points. But really, it's just you go from this map to this map to this map, and that's pretty much all I planned. Quest Friends has been a lot more planned out, especially once we got to the second half where I had to start bringing plot threads together. I was much more like, well, this needs to happen, then this, then this, then this. Which hasn't been necessarily great. It's a habit I'm going to try to break myself of a little bit in Season 2, and we'll get to that in a second, where it's, instead of these things need to happen this episode, it's more, this series of episodes is its own loose thing that just needs to have these specific elements tie into it. And the system we have will also have elements of randomness that I cannot respond to, which I think will be good. Playing, I've absolutely become a backseat GM. You're gonna see this super hardcore in the mid-season.
In all of the episodes, I think. Maybe don't have
except the ones you're not in.
It's a
Except
problem.
for the ones you're not in.
It's a problem. I like GMing a lot. It is my favorite way to play, and boy, does that show. And then if I were going to tell myself anything 4 years ago, there's a lot of stuff I could tell, especially because there were a lot of things I was really kind of shitty about. Like, I was very bad with scheduling, and there were a lot of things that I think I could have done better. But I don't think I would. Every project up till Quest Friends was something that I did not complete. The idea of doing something that lasted 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, something that went 4 years and is literally done, is inconceivable compared to anything I've done in the past. Everything else was an idea, but never went anywhere. Like, I was convinced I was going to be a YouTube star. I was going to make YouTube videos, and this was going to be a fun little silly side thing, because I was running a game and I liked that Adventure Zone nonsense. And essentially, I tricked myself into doing this and finishing it, and I wouldn't want to mess with that. All right.
I think I thought what my thing was, because I have forgotten it. I just want to... I feel like at the beginning, I used to be a lot of, this character is going to do this action, and this character is going to say this, or like Misha is going to say this, but I feel like now I've been more comfortable in just speaking as the character whenever the moment arises, and I think that's like a better player thing, and I think I learned that by constantly playing this game. So.
Yeah.
If I were to go back in time to the day we record, I would do 3 things. I'd say, Hallie, don't say, ma'am, you're an accountant.
That's such a good line.
Don't mansplain for one of the very first things your character says. Number 2, I'd say, here's a list of flex skills. They're better than anything you will think of over the next 4 years. Please use these instead of grappling hooks.
I feel like you would ignore that advice.
I absolutely would. I would ignore everything
You would
on this
spitefully
list
pick grappling hooks in particular.
because I wrote don't pick grappling hooks. And the third thing is I'd write, please don't forget about your forearm blade. And then I'd forget about my forearm blade again. So, like, I would just ensure the exact future that I had in, like, a Greek tragedy way by going back in time to do that. And then for GMing and playstyle, I had never GM'd before the Cookie Crew. That was, like, my very first time. So I guess Quest Friends has literally informed my GMing style in the sense that I kind of just did what Kyle did and then, like, modified it a little bit. But I'm not like Kyle, and GMing, like, freaks me out. I'm so scared of it. But you should all watch the Crit Show every Monday because I'm GMing a game called Afterlife. It's about ghosts. They're dead and they
Professional game master over here.
I'm a professional.
Hallie's really good.
She's
at
very
it.
good.
She's
No,
really
Extremely good.
It's
It's a very high quality show.
it scares me every time, and I get sweats thinking about it. But GMing is also a really personal challenge for me because it scares me so much. I want to do it more so that I'm like conquering a personal fear and all that stuff. So that's. I mean, it's GM playstyle has actually been more of a lifestyle because it's been like, you did this very scary thing, you can do other scary things, and just, like, use the kind of vibe and attitude you go into a role-playing game with for life. Because what is life but just role-playing every single second? So, that was probably too much for my answer.
The chat's talking about how good Afterlife is, by the way.
What?
As well they should.
What?
Do you want to see Hallie make herself break
Oh
down
my God.
doing a
It's
dolphin
so
voice?
Oh my god!
You can see that. You can see that shit on Afterlife.
I'm so happy! Thank you so much for the kind words in the chat. Afterlife. It's very good.
GMing also scares me very much.
Yeah.
I cried multiple times trying to get my opening words out for the thing that we recorded. So
I was just
that
sitting
happened.
there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I guess just let this happen.
It's part of my creative process. Crying when I try to make words.
You are the real sad lad raptor.
Why would you even say something like this? Has Hallie suffered enough?
No, never.
I'm not sorry. But yes, it is very scary. And I had experienced all of you GMing, I think, by the point. Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
yeah, 'cause
you
you're-
run that
you're
thing.
just-
Yeah,
By
yeah,
the
yeah.
point that
Yeah.
I had run the game, I had been in a game run by each
That's
of you.
true.
At least one. And so I actually tried to, like, pull things that I learned from all of you, things that I liked about the games, and, like, I think that I've still got a very long way to go with, like, practicing and stuff and finding a balance of how much to direct. But one of the things that I've learned from role playing with all of you is the importance of characters and having something to connect either the PCs or just the players to some part of it, like unexpectedly a tricycle.
The tricycle was so
But
good.
also just like characters and finding little things about a character that are a nod to the players. I think I've learned from playing with you guys. It's so sweet, and weaving in fun things about places and stuff. But as far as what I would tell my past self, don't slide the buzzer disc back. You're not doing what you think you're doing. You're not gonna know what you think you're doing, but it's not that.
That was a part.
Don't slide it.
That was a part of the fan fiction I forgot. In the world in which, in the fan fiction world, which is definitely canon, where the disassembler becomes Hop's pet,
Yes.
he plays fetch with the buzzer disc that
buzzer
Hop
disc.
put in his pocket at the at chapter 4.
God.
I forgot that was an important part of the lore.
God.
Still one of my favorite moments of the show.
Don't do the buzzer disc. You'll regret making Kyle let you name your character Ellie Bench. Just so I would have some kind of like understanding that I would regret it. And also just like calm down. It's okay. Like, you don't have to be panicking all the time and trying to be clever and funny all the time, and you don't have to be freaking out about whether the other players like you.
Oh, we love you.
Yeah. And that's what I would tell little Brighton to be at the beginning, because we love you. Yay.
Tom.
I don't know if there's anything I would tell my past self that would be relevant to Quest Friends specifically, or suitable for a stream. But
you did have an event, like a lot of your GMing journey happened like Gandalf in a bunch of like games you ran that were unrelated to Quest Friends.
Yeah.
As to my playing and GMing style, Quest Friends has, I guess, helped me like try to figure out like where I am most comfortable in a role playing party and like what I like to get out of role playing. GMing wise, I've lost all faith in my ability to run a game as a game master.
You've been really good. Yeah.
Nothing but anxiety is left for me now.
Oh no.
I'm currently running 2 campaigns, privately, of course, not for like streams or podcasts or anything. A strange campaign for these guys and another friend, and then a Lancer campaign for my siblings and some other friends who are not here. And like, there's nothing going wrong necessarily in any of those campaigns. But I don't know. I don't know why running a game has been so hard for me lately. There was no point to this answer. There was nothing. There was nowhere I was going with this.
But not everything has a nice bow on it at the end. Things
No.
are ongoing.
These are ongoing. I don't know what the answer is. I used to feel more confident about GMing, and now I feel less confident about GMing, even though I've put a lot more work into both of these campaigns than I have into many past campaigns, and like, I don't think any of that work is necessarily bad. I don't know. It's hard to articulate.
I was thinking of a graph I saw the other day, because I was thinking about when looking at my editing, because I had seen how much I had grown, and I was like, am I at a peak? And there was this thing where someone was like, how things tend to go in waves. It's your ability to like better understand what makes something good increases typically before your ability to do it increases. So you'll have these waves where like you feel like you're doing shit because you're starting to understand at a higher level than you could before. But then you catch up and you're like, yeah. and then you start seeing things even better
God.
than you are before. It was some graph I saw.
That really sounds like
Oh.
my grad school experience.
I do have one fun thing I can say
God.
that's both less depressing and more relevant to Quest friends, is that I've learned that railroading is good, actually. Taking away player agency is bad, but, like, having a confined story and, like, a specific set goal that the players need to accomplish is a perfectly fine way to run an adventure. There are certainly many games and creators who don't take that approach, and that's fine too, but, like, our group especially likes goals,
Yeah.
and my games have been weaker when I tried to make them more open-ended and give you guys a chance to give yourselves direction. And so spelling out, like, this will come to pass has worked better for me with you guys than the other way around.
The other day I was talking to someone and they were like, why am I saying someone? It was something. The other day I was talking to Hallie. Sorry that I mentioned the thing we're talking about. And you were like, yeah, I was worried I boxed you in too much for your game. I'm like, no, give us the box. Or we're just going to walk around or talk about walking around.
Yeah.
And that's that. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to stand there twiddling our thumbs.
The fucking waffling. Like,
I had to
that time Hallie was gone and you spent like 2 hours plotting to kill your father.
But that was not waffling, that was genius.
That was a task.
You plotted so little in that time, and like a lot of that time was me just insisting, just make a plan. I will work with you on this. Like, you really don't need to overthink it in this case. I'm not going to like punish you arbitrarily. I want you to do interesting things. Please just do something.
So fun. I really.
All right. So we've got 5 questions left before Kay going through them. They're all kind of related. So let's talk about finishing season 1 and talking about next season and season 2 plans. So, what is the hardest thing about ending a 4-year campaign?
I have it. I think for me, the hardest thing is that I finally feel like I've got a handle on how to play Misha, and like there's a lot of things that is like, oh, they mentioned a really random situation. I'm like, oh, Misha would do this and react this way to the situation. I like immediately know that, and it took some time for me to reach that. Like that's why I didn't even have a voice at the beginning. So it's going to be really hard to just let Misha go and not play as Misha later on and like start from fresh with a new character that I sort of have the handle on, but not entirely. And that's fun, but that's also really scary. And I've also like Misha has become my favorite PC that I've ever played. And so that's also going to be hard to be like, okay, I just have to let them go. So yeah. That's to me the hardest, I think.
Yeah, similarly to that, Hopper is my favorite PC that I've ever played in any campaign. So, like, saying goodbye to him is going to be really hard. But I also feel like maybe the hardest thing for me is understanding that it's done, because I don't think that I do yet.
Yeah, same.
Like, we're all wearing our Quest Friends shirts, we're all talking about Quest Friends stuff, and, like, it hasn't really been over for us, because we played and it was emotional, but then we talked about editing and, like, getting together to do this and, like, a whole bunch of other stuff, and like, we're not gonna stop talking about our characters, so... Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I was interrupting your thing, so... yeah, I'm in full-fledged denial mode. But it's a practical denial, because as I said, now that I have full time, I can keep things going by force if I have to. But no. But so yeah, and we'll talk about this a bit later with my philosophy for keeping season 1 ongoing. So there are a couple of things for me. As a GM, the hardest part was getting it all together. Which actually was a lot harder during One Neon Night than it was during this one. Because when we got to the end of the campaign, everything was there. All the pieces were in place. Because the way I think about story climaxes is stories are extremely complex things that end with a simple event. And so our simple event was the Apocrypha attacks, you go inside and you stop it. And that part was easy. Getting from crime and courtship to that point was the tough part. But as I said, as a GM, I'm kind of living in a space of denial. There are, because I think I actually get off easy compared to everyone else, because everyone else has a character. This is my character. This is my thing, and I do have that, but I have a world. So really, I have more freedom to characters have already been more touch and go. Even someone as important as Vespari, he's done what he needs to do. Maybe if I want to pull him back, I want to. But there's no one I've just solidified in with. So when it comes to looking at the possibility of expanding on my work from season 1 in the future, I have a lot more freedom than everyone else has. And so I can live in that place of denial for a long time, because I'm ready to give up the story. I am not necessarily ready to give up. I won't call it the ninth world, because at this point I am ready to give up the Monty Cook Games part of it, but what we made in it, I think there's more to do. That being said, listening to the episode today was weird. It's not surprising based on everything I've said that, and the themes of Quest Friends, that I'm a very forward-thinking person. I'm always thinking about what comes next. That's how I've always been. Well, not how I've always been, but that's how I've always been with this creatively. My favorite arc is always the next arc. And I've had this finale planned since the very, very beginning. It was very different, but it was there. So, but it was weird. Every other climax, when I got to the end, felt right. I was like, this is the event. This is how it happened. It wasn't how I imagined it, but this is what happened. Listening to the episode today, and it may be the exhaustion to a degree, because again, I've gotten no sleep, it felt dreamlike. It felt weird. It felt like I was listening to fan fiction. And that isn't to say that it was bad. But it was weird, and I feel like that's an interesting thing to explore, even if I don't have more to say about that. Also, a lot of work making New World, but that's not really ending. That's a new thing. So I was just rambling. It should go over to someone else at this point.
Honestly, I feel like the weirdest thing about all of this has been the move, actually. Because I had been formerly living with Kyle and Emily for the last couple of years and been recently moved to here, where I now live alone with my cat. That's not relevant to this, but the weird aspect is that because I was living with Kyle, I was living with the creation of Quest Friends, and I had some responsibilities as well, which I didn't do very well, but another point. So I would hear things being edited. I know exactly when things were released and all that. And since you moved to Arizona and took on more of that stuff yourself because you're full-time and because I'm not living with it, it's felt like Quest Friends is removed from time. I'll just notice, oh wait, that was released already? That episode? That's out? I didn't even notice. And it's bizarre. It feels like I'm unhinged from time. So that's a part of this that doesn't feel real. It feels like I'm waiting for everyone to see all the cool stuff we did at the end. But they have. They've already happened. It's all available online. Yeah. The entire thing has been posted. It's done. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, because you can't live with me without hearing about Quest Friends 5 dozen times a day.
I just realized I've left my laundry in the wash for hours. I put in some laundry while you guys were out picking up Kyle from the airport, and I realized it when I touched my pocket and felt the laundry card in there.
So your look of concern, and I was like,
do you
what?
need to go get that?
I think I need to go check to see if my laundry's been thrown on the floor, which it will have been after all these hours.
You just go get that.
Yeah.
Just go.
Like,
I need.
Man.
other stuff is a lot of stuff I'll be answering anyway.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'll be back in a little bit.
Emily, what's the hardest thing about ending a 4-year campaign?
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm just really enjoying listening to his voice
It's
trailing
very
down the
good.
hallway.
This look of despair as he...
I think for me, the hardest thing, like, I don't know, because Ellie isn't the easiest character I've played. I have played characters that are a lot easier for me. I never quite got a voice for her. Like, I think I got a personality and the way she was. But if you hear Ari's voice and then you hear Ari speaking as Misha, you know.
That took some time.
Yeah, but Ellie never really had that. But I've had characters where that does happen and where it feels smoother. But like, it's just gonna be really weird not ever like having the party, you know? Yeah. Like, kind of. I think it hasn't fully hit me either. It did a little bit, but like that we're not gonna play as Misha and Shock and Hop and Ellie again. And that's weird. Yeah. And kind of sad. Yeah. Good in that, like, I think we had a really satisfying story, but it's definitely, like, a sad thing to leave things you enjoy behind.
Mm-hmm.
From the chat, I love all the characters and have enjoyed listening to them grow on this journey.
I think, like, thank you, but like tied up to that, because that's actually a really good point on, like, I think, like, I also, it hasn't fully hit me, but I think it sort of has hit me in like on stages in a way, because it started when, like, Misha's arc was complete, and I was like, now I can just, like, play as Misha, but I don't have any other thing for them to, like, aspire to go. Like, this is, like, their arc is complete, so, like, they are just going to get stuck in this door with Shock, I guess. Like, they don't have any, like, any angst left or anything. And, like, that's kind of where it started to hit me, like, oh, this is just the beginning of the end here. So it's kind of, like, has been hitting me in stages in a way. It's, yeah, but it is sad to just not be, like, to not play as the whole party after this. Yeah. So I really like it.
Give Ari's season 2 character constant angst.
Well,
Don't
got
say
it.
that.
oh,
I got you, friend.
that's, yeah. But we'll see how that goes.
A related question, because ultimately, I feel shitty to say ultimately this comes down to me. Ultimately, it comes down to a lot of us, but since I am working the one full time, ultimately, what campaigns we do and stuff like that is a lot of a collaborative decision. But I'm doing a long rambling. We're just going to answer this. So, will you do another campaign in the campaign 1 setting? In the season 1 setting? No. At least, and I don't know what everyone else thinks, but my basic philosophy is I am a sucker for different media things. I do not think the time in the Ninth World is done, but I do not want to tell another campaign there. I've had a Season 2 idea since the very, very beginning, which revolves around basically a Tower of Babel and 2 extremely petty gods, one of which I came up with, who are name-dropped in Episode 5 and never brought up again. And I am dead set on making that happen. I've had ideas for them appearing in a Sarah and Zoe audio drama. I've been what if we had a Patreon only mini campaign crossover that's Persona Q.
That's right, I forgot about that.
It was the original idea for Season 2, and I thought Season 1 was only going to be a year long and not everyone's story would be wrapped up. Because Misha's story was originally going to take place in Season 2, until I was I want to wrap everyone's story up in Season 1. And essentially, the thing is, Quest Friends is done. There is a bow on it. And I am very weird about spin-offs in that if they are in the same media, I feel very strange about them. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that is. That's just how I am, but I don't think our time there is done. We've talked about doing live shows more frequently in indie systems, and we have come up with 4 ideas. 3 live show ideas and then 1 bonus episode idea. And what's fun is that 3 of the ideas feature just one of the main party characters, and then maybe some NPCs or some new ones. And all of them feature a different system, a different setting, and a live show. Essentially, it's a way of doing more stuff in Campaign 1 so that we can still get hints of that and explore some of the world we built up, because there's a lot of fun stuff there, while also not being here's our party of 4 again, which I know isn't what the question asked, but that. For example, someone asked, we joked that we had a Prileman skate park episodes that we were going to shred, and our transcriber Raina asked, can I actually have this? And I was and we talked about it, and we're yeah, let's find a skateboarding indie tabletop role-playing system and have Misha and some speedy speed boys do shredding on the Prileman ruins.
He was looking at you.
Oh.
There's a system that's basically Murder, She Wrote, so we want that to be Ellie and then 3 other old ladies from the main story. A murder mystery. I want to do a murder mystery. We have 4 Jarvis robots left. I want to explore them. So I think we'll do live shows. We're looking at doing those more frequently. We've still got the short stories until Season 2 picks up, unless one of us feels particularly inspired by mid-season stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. And I am always open to... I want to explore the world in more ways, and I want to even potentially explore characters, including potentially party members, but in a context different from the campaign. So, really, at least in my mind, everything, live shows, comics, video games, limited video games, but video games, anything is on the table except for another podcast, at least a campaign podcast. Because that's how it is for me. I don't know how it is for everyone else.
No, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not done with the world and with the characters in some way. We've got their stories tied up, but we all have our little head canons and and things that we want and the self-indulgent fanfics. So if we find ways to make that happen in an organic way, like a live show or something like that, think what Kyle said is basically perfect.
Yeah.
Also, the chat asks, welcome back. Tom, was your laundry on the floor?
No, so I am flabbergasted, but the laundry was fine and exactly where I left it, so
Nice.
it's in the dryer now.
Nice.
Uh,
Okay.
no explanation for this.
Nice. Good.
The last few times I've used that laundry room, it's been pretty cutthroat in there, but
I get that.
I mean, I know how it is
Yeah.
in an apartment communal laundry room, but I guess nobody did that much laundry in here today on a weekend.
Yeah,
for us.
that's impressive.
Like,
Yeah.
We benefit.
I guess so.
Who benefits? We do.
Does our audience even know about the Who Benefits meme?
No, I think it's too deep on this.
If you've listened to Catching Up, David, the other podcast I'm in, you maybe know about the Who Benefits meme.
It's just hell asking who benefits.
Who benefits?
Terrible movie.
There's
wasn't terrible, but
no. We watch like famous pop culture movies that most people have seen or at least know about, and then every 25 movies we're gonna revisit the number based on whether we like this next one or dislike this next one. But every 25 movies, David gets to pick like a weird indie grad school art film that he likes that we've never heard of. And we hated the last one. So we kept asking ourselves during the plot when things would happen, who benefits? Because we didn't get it. Like, we genuinely didn't get who benefits from this thing. So now we just scream, who benefits?
Who benefits?
Sometimes. That's a meme that I explained.
that's a meme.
Listen to Catching Up, David. We're using his mic tonight. Thanks, David.
Thanks,
I said I'd give you a
Thanks,
shout
David.
out, and I'm giving you a shout out.
You said you give a shout out to the mic.
I'm giving a shout out to the mic. I retract my former shout out. The shout out to the mic and not to you. Who benefits? Your microphone does.
All right. A related question from the chat, which goes to our mid-season, then we'll talk about season 2.
Oh,
Do any of you think you'll try to guest on One Shot Network? Well, if they want to reach out to us, our door is always open because we keep accidentally doing things related to One Shot Network. So
yeah, that's right.
for our mid-season, in addition to our regular episodes, we're gonna have another Damon episode with Aaron Catano Saez, except this one is actually going to be him and me doing a thing. It's going to be us doing All My Fantasy Children, but for our Damon world, our Damon Saloon, because we don't have a party for Victor Damon to interact with. And then James from One Shot Network he had asked about folks doing like world building thing from his world building book, and he and asked for folks interested, and so I have to reach back to him, and it might be that it doesn't pan out because last I talked I was like, hey, we're a podcast that would be interested, but I know we all want to do a world building game, or at least some of us want to do a world building game in October in anticipation for season 2, which is when we were going to schedule it with him. So that might be something we do off the air just ourselves. That might be something we do on the air with him. That might be something we don't do. Who knows? Burst of hope. I will make the One Shot Network crossover happen. Oh my god. Please. Please. I love One Shot Network. They're great. You could possibly guess on All My Fantasy Children. Would love to see that. Let's see. How I've listened to more All My Fantasy Children in anticipation for doing the thing with Aaron, and I'm like, shit, he's real good at this. And of course he is. Like, that's why, one of the reasons I'm so excited to work with him, but like, I was one of those,
you can't back down now.
Yeah.
Kyle. Come on,
Don't
this
do
is our
who
big
you
break.
are.
Yeah, so, let me go into moderators.
Well, and then how we have played a bunch of.
We played a bunch of games of
Yeah.
our mid-season games.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them are by people who have done work with One Shot Network.
I thought 3 of them were One Shot Network.
I think I was including James and Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about our mid-season. So what
real good.
comes next? And then I'm gonna do some mod stuff. But nothing bad. But so what happens next? So essentially, what happens next for me is a lot of big stuff for season 2. A lot of really, really big stuff, which we'll get into in a second. So to bide time for that, because we aren't going to record until November at the earliest, we're doing a trial one for our characters in an indie system this week, probably something like Employee of the Month, because even though that doesn't fit at all,
Okay.
but we all ran indie one-shots. And I should have gotten a list of all of the creators. We will have links to each of the games in the link below, and the name of the people who made it. So everyone ran a one-shot as a GM. Everyone's was 2 episodes long, except for mine, which was 1. So, for example, mine is... Do we want to say what they are in order?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yes,
remember
although I don't remember my game's creator
I remember the
offhand.
last name
I would
of
have
my
to look it
game
up.
creator.
I will pull them up. So the first one is going to be Ari, and Ari's will be in October and November.
Yeah, so I run a campaign or a one shot of a game called Dread by his last name is Ravachol. I know this, but there's also another creator that I forget. But I know one of them is Ravachol.
Epitio, Ravachol, and then Nathaniel Barmore.
Yes, yeah.
Published by The Impossible Dream.
That's what it is. Yeah. And it's basically like a Jenga tower that you have characters. So basically you have a characters, but instead of having dice, you have a Jenga tower traditionally. And when a character does an action, you pull a block from the Jenga, and if the Jenga falls, your character dies or has a fate worse than death, which is always my approach. I had already run a Dread game, last time we went together, and everybody really liked it. So I was like, I'm just going to run another Dread game because it's very easy for me to DM those for some reason. So that's what I ran. It's in a haunted house. That's all I will say.
Talk about Bugsnax.
Yeah,
Bugsnax.
Save it for the out of context Quest Friends spoilers tweet thread I'm gonna make after this.
Yeah, Bugsnax is involved. That's
all I will say is that somebody in the survey said, "I'd love to see you all branch out into horror." You're welcome.
I really like horror stuff. It isn't as creepy as I could have done it, but I think there was some cursed things there.
All right, and then the next
few things.
game in the list is Tongues.
And you will have to look up the creator because I am so sorry, I do not know it off the top of my head. But I ran a game, sort of. It's a GM-less system called Uneasy Lies Ahead. And it is a sort of fusion of a board game and a tabletop role-playing game where you all play as members of a political court. And the setting can be anything. Like, the book suggests everything from, like, a weird gothic horror kingdom, a science fiction empire, literal gods, a high school classroom, which was the scenario we ended up going with.
Because of course.
Because starting high and ending up in
And this was the one shot I was not involved in. We were involved in all of them, but I did not do this one because...
You didn't want to, like, make it take more time, and also...
Because I was worried about the turn count, because the game ends at a set number of turns.
Right.
We do not get to play through an entire game of this, because it's a very long game, unfortunately. At least the way we play it. So we played up until the point we could allow, and we found ourselves a stopping point. But typically there are 3 rounds in a full game of Uneasy Lies Ahead, and it's a mix of board game and role playing, like I said, where you take turns, like drawing tokens that let someone almost become the game master for that turn, where they get to set the scene and like arrange what they want to do. But then you don't even play like a single character. You pick like a character with a playbook, and then you make a secondary character who's important to you and give that to someone else to play.
Yeah.
And everyone is a different position in the court. Oh, and every player gives another player a secret objective
That's my
that they need
favorite
to work
part.
on. It is absolutely the best mechanic. It's so cool. So everyone's doing their schemes, taking these turns, and like doing sort of kind of powered by the apocalypse-ish moves to get through that, and everyone's angling it. It's fun. It's fun stuff.
I adore antagonistic PvP role-playing games that aren't really structured like classical board games, or like if we did D&D PvP where it's like there's a winner and a loser, where it's more just like we're just going to give you excuses to go at each other's throats.
You just sort of fuck around with each other.
Yeah.
That's very much the vibe of Uneasy Lies Ahead. Did you find who created
that is by Adam Bell.
Perfect. Adam Bell.
Adam Bell's Uneasy Lies the Head. And then after that, we will be taking a break for the and by break I mean we will take a break from all of the horror and the drama to deal with the wonderful world of fairy tales in end of December, early January with Emily.
Girl Underground. And I will also have you look up because there are 2 names.
Girl Underground
Or
is
there
by...
should be 2 of them.
Let me go to the buy page. McManaman and Ross.
Yeah.
It doesn't say the full names there.
Yeah. But Girl Underground is like, it's inspired by Alice in Wonderland and Labyrinth and Wizard of Oz and Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. Oh, it's such a good book.
It's exactly like that.
I was like, should I include this that only Ari and I and baby Hallie know of?
I know of it because of YouTube.
Okay, that just...
It's basically that format, though.
It's
like,
really good.
yeah.
But, it's really cool because you have whatever number of players, but then all the players cycle through playing the girl, and then they have their own other party members. And so you kind of find attributes that you all come up with together of the girl, and then when scenes change or whenever you want to just ask for control, you can trade off control of the girl.
And oh boy, did we take control on that one.
Okay,
I'm so sorry,
a disclaimer for my game. One thing that I have learned, even though I hear Tom say it a lot about how he's learned through trial and error that some railroading can be important, I decided, what if I didn't do that because I'm too scared to assert myself? And so we had no direction.
We had plenty of direction.
We had plenty. Okay,
This was some of the most chaotic
gave no
play that they have
direction.
ever had.
Ever.
We were the worst players imaginable.
So
Emily.
Just the
sorry,
worst.
Emily.
Absolute bull.
No, it was
fully on our bullshit.
It was so fun, but it's definitely not quite as heavily GM directed.
You
as
made
some
all of
the
these
other
careful,
one-shots.
subtle references to fairy tales,
Yeah.
and then we
Also,
broke
you
and
will-
ruined
yeah, you will
every
not
single
find
encounter.
Every single one.
Not a single reference is preserved because we ruined all of them
Yeah.
by derailing every single
Okay,
story.
but
missed
then
the
there
key
was
item,
the one
too.
that I just
We missed a key item.
forgot to say the name. So there was gonna be one fairy tale reference included, but then I forgot to say his name. So that doesn't count. Nothing is included, and it's okay.
It
It was very fun. It's okay.
It was still fun, even though we were incredibly mean to Emily.
It's just
so
so
sorry.
mean.
Episodes
We're really
turned out
sorry.
real good. It's gonna be good listening.
good
No,
content.
it was really fun. But if you're looking for a more heavily directed version of Girl Underground, this may not. This shouldn't be your
No.
first exposure.
No.
No.
All right, and then the last two, I will be GMing a game that I've wanted to run for a long time. Mission Accomplished by Jeff Stormer. Mission Accomplished was my first exposure to a genre of tabletop role-playing game that I want to explore more, which is what I'm sure it has a name, but what I want to call a party tabletop role-playing game, a game that is clearly designed to be casually picked up and played within an hour or two. Even with people who don't normally roleplay. So, Mission Accomplished is essentially you are a bunch of James Bond-style spies that have gone off on some sort of super spy mission. But that isn't what the game is. The game is the boardroom meeting afterwards, as you all try to take credit for everything good that happened and blame everyone else for everything bad that happened. Our session was really fun, and we're going to have a very fun gimmick for that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
where normally what happens is you get the citation and I forget the other one, but basically good dice and bad dice, and you roll them at the end. And it's real chaotic to determine, who gets all the way from the nice new corner office, top promotion, down to you are worse than fired. And I instead. That one's going to be done entirely in character, with the audience member taking the control of a mysterious director who is listening in via a remote feed. And it's going to be a choose-your-own-adventure game.
Yes!
There will be
So
4
good.
endings where you will listen through the entire thing, and at the end, you will get to choose one of 4 different possible endings to determine who you think deserves the promotion.
You get to vote on which of us was the
Yeah.
best super spy.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
And that one was especially fun too because I don't want to get into it, but there is an element of fun surprise
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
to the end of the game.
Definitely.
Oh,
And the thing is, I wanted our responses to be genuine, so I had to amp that up every single time.
Yeah.
So there is.
And
there is an escalation to how
Sure
fucked
is.
things can get.
Yeah.
And then finally, Hallie.
Finally, we have a game of School Days, DAZE, run by me, and the creator is
Tracy Barnett.
Tracy Barnett. I knew it was Tracy, but I couldn't remember Barnes, or Burnett, and it's Barnett. None of the things that I thought. It's a wonderful game, very rules light. It takes place entirely in a high school setting, and so the
We're
setting.
back to that.
We're back to a high school setting, but you see,
There's a twist.
there's this high school setting. Way back in the 1980s,
Oh my God.
secret government employees dug up famous guys and ladies and made amusing genetic copies. Because it's Clone High. I just run an episode of Clone High because I'm very fond of most of that show. Some of that I like Clone High.
I've been rewatching it. There's a lot that I wouldn't even say hasn't aged well, because it was not
It was
aged
bad
well.
even
It
when it
wasn't
came
good
out.
even when it
Like-
came out. There's a lot in Clone High that I have problems with, but I also think that the other parts are very, very funny, and it just kind of
It's an A
ran
plus.
a game.
It's an A plus premise.
It's an A plus premise. So everybody for their characters chose a deceased historical figure, and then I made NPC deceased historical figures, and they all have a little high school adventure together. And I make some Clone High character cameos, and that's
Yeah.
I'm so sorry
was-
for interrupting your little preview there.
Ira. That's all I can do.
It was a very good session.
I will say
These were all very good.
These were all
but,
very
like,
good sessions.
I will say that, I mean, not saying who they are, but we chose some obscure historical figures.
Some
yeah.
real obscure. We give a little here's who this person
Yeah.
was.
It was. We had to do research. We had to watch 2 movies for my character.
Yep.
But it's very fun because Tom had seen Clone Eye. I had barely seen any in anticipation. So it was Hallie running an episode of Clone High while the rest of us just had fun with our historical figure
Yeah,
of
just
choice.
historic. Like, what if historical figure, but in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
I we do not apologize to Rob and Jamie of Totalis Rankium for the bullshit Ari and I played.
We
Absolutely
specifically picked some bullshit.
Alright, so, and then after that, probably around March, we will be having a couple of preview episodes and getting ready for our second season. The question here, what are you playing next? Do you have any ideas about what kind of character you might play? I don't think we should really go into like details.
Okay.
Not yet.
But we can at least talk in the vague sense about what we're doing. Like
Okay.
what maybe system we are and like and that. So season 2 will be very interesting. As was kind of alluded with my campaign 1 thing, I don't want to just do this again. But I also don't, and I will not publicly mention shows that did this that I was not a fan of, even though I've only ever mentioned one actual play podcast.
You can figure out what it is. Maybe.
I want to do something different, and I think we all kind of want to do something that's a little different while also maintaining the core of what it is.
Yeah.
Core of our style. So it's not like we're going to have big, super dramatic things. We're going to go back to fun, silly adventures that also have a lot of heart. But we're going to be trying something different. We're going to be trying, if this season was us doing the Adventure Zone balance, season 2...
I won't mention
any
drops
names.
next at Jesus Christ, Kyle.
This season is us doing basically a lot of the shows popular on Disney. This is going to be us doing an Amphibia, a Gravity Falls, an Owl House. The way I always say it is, it's the Owl House. Our season 2 will be the Owl House, but Ida can say fuck. Essentially, we're going to be, instead of having these big arcs, we're going to be split into about 4. We're going to be split into like basically mini seasons that are comprised of little adventures, about 4 episode long adventures. Essentially, a bunch of Turing towns that are exciting and fun and help build towards a greater story, which honestly is pretty much how Crime and Courtship was structured already. Like, Crime and Courtship, like, there was a lot of faffing around in that, but you could argue that Crime and Courtship, you had your Nano Fight Club arc, then you had your prom, you had your like pre-prom, like Sir Kentrum competition arc, and then you had that, and Crime and Courtship,
Sad
20 episodes.
Cowboy Man arc.
Yeah, and 20 episodes.
It was very episodic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and 20 episodes per like story that slowly amps up is what I'm really aiming for. So it's going to still have the build while also being more accessible for folks to come in. Here, season 2 is going to be dabbing on Amnesty.
I won't mention any names, but
that came from the chat, not from me. But so yeah, our goal is really to recreate the style of those shows, and I think Owl House and Gravity Falls are really good examples, because each of those in their later seasons got to a point where every episode, in our case every 4 episode adventure, built further to the story. It was, here is a fun, isolated thing that tells something more. Like, we're gonna have Gravity Falls. We're gonna have Dipper Pines go on a Dungeons and Dragons adventure, but also while doing so, learn the only way to release this evil demon. That wasn't actually the same episode, but it's that idea of slowly building these things and making it so that people aren't like, Crime and Courtship episode 17, I don't know where to start with this show. Setting-wise, because of that, when you think of things like Amphibia, Star versus the Forces of Evil, Gravity Falls, the Owl House, they are very low-power settings. And as much as I love Cypher System ends with you moving mountains.
My boy.
And I kept trying to find systems that fit exactly what we were looking for. And there was nothing that quite fit exactly what we wanted. Monster of the Week is a really fun system, but it's for doing edgy Supernatural, like, it's for doing the TV show Supernatural.
I'm fading fast, Sammy.
It's an edgy system. Urban Shadows, also an edgy system.
Oh, yeah.
And none of them, Powered by the Apocalypse, felt very close, but it wasn't quite there. So I, in my infinite wisdom, thought, why the fuck not? I can make my own Powered by the Apocalypse system. So we will season 2 this next month in October, while we do world building for our episodic adventure. I will be working on a custom Powered by the Apocalypse system that is designed around doing these adventures based on these shows. Episodic adventures that take place in split worlds. You know, in Star versus the Forces of Evil, it's the magical world of Muni and the human world. In Gravity Falls, it's the normal town of Gravity Falls and the weird things outside of it. In Amphibia, it's the frog world and the human world. These mixed worlds that also in all of these cases are very mundane in like the fantasy world, the fantasy world being more mundane than the regular one, which is something that is very true in Numenera, in our Numenera as well. Our Numenera is very weird, but Hallie also set an entire adventure in a PTO meeting. So we've already been doing that, and we want to dig into that more. So will Season 2 episode name be like Season 2 episode, the arc episode that, name structure. The way we'll probably do it is be like, the first adventure will be episode 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and then 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4. I'm not sure if that's necessarily how I want to do it, but the big thing is to make it also less intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to think more in terms of adventures. We're on adventure 17, rather than episode, what would that be? 17 times 4 would be episode 68. You know, very, very different approachabilities. So that's kind of the Season 2 world. So expect me to talk a lot of game theory and just be making it up on the fly. Because this is... We don't need a perfect system. We need something that works for us. So we'll be making it, putting it online, and then probably when the season is done, the campaign is done, we'll do that. And the campaign will probably be similar length to this one. We want to do something full. I think of it in my brain almost as a sequel to Quest Friends.
Yeah.
And if we want to know what kind of world we're going to be in, what is that other fantasy world? Well, I have gotten a little campaign gift.
Wait, what?
What the fuck is
because,
this?
Yeah.
What did you give us?
Because it's very hard to find 2d6s for our 2d6s.
Oh my fucking god.
Did you get me some?
Oh my fucking god. Holy
oh my god,
shit.
I had considered getting these ones.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Tom, do you want to bring yours up to the screen?
Holy
They're so cool!
shit.
I had considered getting these ones
Put
for
these
mine.
in my hand to show.
Oh my god!
They're like little skull dice.
Oh my god!
Gold eyes.
Because the best way to describe Season 2 is what if you had
shit.
Gravity Falls or Amphibia or the Owl House, but instead of our magical world being a land, but instead of our magical world being frogs or magic or mysteries, it was death. What if the magic was death?
What if the
Motherfucking ghosts.
It's ghost time, baby!
We love ghosts.
We
fucking love ghosts.
We love ghosts.
We love ghosts!
We can't be chanting this right now. It's so late at night.
So yeah,
We're in an apartment.
you'll be
Sorry.
hearing more as time goes on, but it will be a more episodic, powered by the Apocalypse system that is ghosty times. And yeah, we'll introduce more about our characters in the world as that comes up, but since we're still testing our things right now, I figure we want to probably explore those characters before we start saying who they are.
Yeah, that would be
we gotta
really good.
I will promise you this: at least one of our characters is going to be a child or a teen, as is fair with that show.
with that, kind of.
And at least one of our characters will be dead. Because
because
We can't not have a ghost PC and a ghost.
Yeah, but and it's going to be fun. We've got a bunch of ideas. Like I've thought of Castlevania episodes, Pokemon episodes,
Ace Attorney episodes.
There's a whole bunch of ideas percolating around in there. I've already.
We even took a meme from the auto captions from one earlier.
Super Hell.
Oh,
There'll be a place called Super Hell.
Oh my god.
And it's great.
Why though?
Yes.
Why?
We've got to torment Ari over Supernatural. There'd be no way we could have
torment myself over Supernatural every day, though.
The chat is talking about how we've accidentally recreated Deltarune.
Oh no!
The Greater Vesvar is talking about a Dark Souls-like world where death has stopped working, but it's the Owl House. And then the rest of the chat is just chanting, "We love ghosts."
Except
and
Dreamwitch is bringing up the Boatman.
What?
Boatman in chat.
What?
Yeah, everybody loves a boatman.
Everybody loves the Boatman.
Who's a character from...
I am everything.
Boatman
Wait, that is not what I meant to say. No. I know everything. I am very cool. I cannot die.
So our story won't be the same as what Hallie's running, but
it's a coincidence that I'm also running a ghosty game. That's with a whole new different system that we're not using for this.
It's not a coincidence. It's just that you really like ghosts.
It's not actually a coincidence. I just fucking love ghosts.
This isn't even the first time we have tried to do a ghost-related project. We tried to write a visual novel years ago.
Yeah.
And it will not be the last time. That's just a fact. I just like ghosts. Maybe the Boatman will make an appearance in season 2 because I just said it. So now Kyle has to make that happen. The Boatman.
The Boatman?
He's everywhere.
Well,
I am everywhere.
We have to figure out
Kyle
I can go many places.
Voice.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Can you do the Boatman voice?
I can't do the Boatman voice, but we'll have to figure out some sort of Cookie Crew equivalent or something. So
that's true.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Crew, I don't know.
So
I'm so happy someone brought up the Boatman. Thank you.
I love the Boatman.
So yeah, that is and then Dreamwitch is giving credit to Nakaless Mojo because there were a couple of people chanting for the Boatman.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I only saw the one, but that's incredible.
Oh my god.
So we have a lot on the horizon. We have live shows. We're going to do a season 1 characters and indie systems. We're going to have about 6 months of mid-season coming on now, helping get time to make an entire system.
There's a very specific live show / stream we've put off for a while, but I have a character I've held on to for a long time. And I'm going to keep holding him close to my chest until I can finally reveal him to the world.
Yeah, and then we'll have season 2. The Owl House, but Ghostita says fuck. The Owl House, but Gravity Falls, but Ghost Stan says fuck. Just take Amphibia, but Ghost Hop Pop says fuck. Actually, that would be Ghost Polly says fuck. Regardless, just take your favorite show and genre, add a ghost in front of a character, and they can say fuck.
Yeah.
Congrats, that's our season 2.
Yeah.
Is that really just our aesthetic overall? Disney show, but we can say fuck.
Yeah, and we don't horribly abuse copyright, too.
That too.
Yeah.
So...
Says, we're gonna have a Pokemon episode.
That's
no.
kind of copyright.
Okay, I guess you're right.
When we say we don't abuse copyright, we don't use our wealth and power to prevent people from ever making fun things.
I get it.
Yeah,
now.
what's the opposite? Yeah.
I'm catching up.
Deltarune campaign. Is it going to be more Snowgrave or pacifist? LMAO. We are going to have less direct punch combat. We're going to have a lot more. You have to think your way around the enemy because I think we really like the chase scenes that we did.
Yeah,
we love the chase scenes.
I want and basically all those shows. It's you run away or outsmart the enemy. So I want to take that attitude and apply it overall.
Gravity Falls literally starts. The first episode is Mabel and Dipper running away from a thing.
Yeah,
that's how it starts.
I want it to be your running
more
away.
Scooby Doo than D&D.
Yeah,
running away.
That's why I always say the Aegon fight was our last big crunchy fight because
It's also our first.
Yeah.
our first season has been a lot of good stuff, and our second season, we're taking everything we knew from the first thing, everything that worked, and we're going to go hard this time, and we're going to make something real good. But we also made something real good.
It's true.
And thank you all for playing with me, and thanks you so much for everyone for listening and for continuing to be around and be involved. It means a lot to have people who made it not only through a couple of episodes, but made it through all of them. And over the course of years, too. I'm always convinced that someone's going to drop off. Every name I no longer see, I recognize, I remember. It haunts you, you think like, well, it's easy to think about how folks drop off, because that's the thing. When things go well, you always expect them to. You always expect there to be a point where someone's like, this isn't for me anymore. And that's okay if it isn't, but having people who have been genuinely interested in the story for years it's really neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is true.
All right. Do we have people die, Kyle? Wow, chat.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
We all kept talking about while we were watching about how Ellie wasn't in any of
Oh,
the...
no!
You can't say his name!
Don't say it on the stream. Because
one thing you did.
That's the thing that you said you promised you wouldn't say.
Don't
Scream
say it.
more because it's like the
I
middle
don't
of the
think I
night in
made
my
that
apartment.
promise.
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, are we all ready for our...
You don't think you made that promise?
Are we all ready?
Fuck you.
Fuck
This is
you.
officially
Yeah,
now the
don't
meanest
say
thing you've done.
This is it.
Are we all ready for the final question?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
It is a variant of the question, but I want one final question.
Why is that?
So we're all aware of the recent casting in the Mario Bros. Movie, where Chris Pratt was cast as
Is
Mario
this actually
Mario.
a question
this real?
that somebody asked?
Did someone send this in?
So the specific question was asking about specifically who would you cast Jack Black or Danny DeVito as?
No, please.
But I want to broaden it up because
Oh.
it's so easy to be like what the actors we want. So I want us to think and come up with, if we were doing a Mario Brothers movie style casting
God.
for our show,
God.
Oh.
what would we do?
For
All
our
right,
show.
so you want us...
For Quest Friends.
So you want us to put ourselves in the mind of some soulless corporate executives who are like, oh, you want to make people come see the movie.
Like a
A
casting
famous
that
person.
doesn't work? Because, I mean...
So just like an off-putting famous, like, cast that doesn't actually work.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is like, has the maximum amount of draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, for me, like not fitting, but like my logical choice for one, but that may work because he's so good is Misha Collins, because I made Misha based on Misha Collins, but like, no.
But like, that's too authentic of a casting.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Misha Collins is not big name enough for
It's
like
true.
something as soulless as the Mario Brothers
So
movie.
I feel like Johnny Depp, maybe.
Holy
Oh
shit.
God!
Johnny
Oh,
Depp.
fuck.
Yeah.
Highlighter and dark
But
hair.
as who?
As Misha.
As Misha.
Oh,
God,
Misha, I
right.
thought you meant
No.
as Hopper.
Oh, here's no.
I was thinking Keanu Reeves for
Oh.
or no, not Keanu Reeves.
But like
What's his
Keanu,
name?
people like Keanu. Like,
But like that is also the sort of casting
Star
like
Wars
an executive
dude.
would make.
The Han Solo's kid. What's his name?
Oh,
Adam
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, someone said Scarlett Johansson is Ellie? I was gonna say Betty White, but I like Scarlett Johansson more.
Yeah.
Betty White is too fun.
Yeah.
Betty White is too genuinely fun.
Betty White is too genuinely fun.
Ellie would be aged down in the movie version
It's true.
because it would be too. Hollywood could never like earnestly make
No.
like an old woman a cool fighter character with Ellie's story. Like it is too earnest for Hollywood to ever take
Especially
seriously.
like if it's Illumination, like the most they could do is make the grandma from the Lorax, who was okay, but like that's the
Ellie
most
would
they
be a
can
joke
do.
character in the
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
grandma from the Lorax was a joke character, and that's
We-
what Ellie would be.
All the
God.
Carl plot would be cut, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's
So-
too sad.
I'm trying to think. The
God,
issue is
who's the best
you can
Hollywood pretty boy right now? Who's
Yeah, Johnny Depp as Misha.
Who's,
He would work on the Holland, like
here's the
Who's that guy who they cast as Paul Atreides in the Dune movie that came out recently?
I have no idea.
Oh wait.
Like, what's his name?
It's like Timothy, but
Yeah, it's-
but
and he's got-
French.
Yeah, it's a French last name.
Timothy
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet is Shock.
That's almost good. Like that's
It's almost good, but it's like, but we're thinking in Hollywood exec mind,
know,
like
but I don't know
way
if he's
too
that
pretty boy to be
famous.
Shock.
way too pretty.
How
boy.
about Brad Pitt though? Like if we're going to go the way.
I don't know if they'd go full adult. though.
Owen
They need to be-
Wilson.
Owen Wilson as Hopperscotch would kind of be amazing, though.
Owen
Okay.
Wilson would be a great hopperscotch.
I would be really okay with
Yeah.
Owen Wilson playing hopperscotch. Actually,
Yeah.
that would be.
I just like Danny DeVito as
Danny DeVito as
That
Ellie.
would be so good.
That would also be so
Would be so
good.
good in every
God.
single
Yeah,
character.
That is,
So-
I would be here for that.
So-
Yes, Ellie's creator.
Yeah.
I would be here
I
for
love
that.
Danny
other
very
things.
much.
Keanu Reeves as Misha, Betty White as Ellie, Chris Evans as Hop was in that
Chris.
Seven.
No, that's a soulless casting
See,
choice.
that is a
Chris
soulless
Evans is
casting
Hop.
one.
choice.
The issue. Oh, there we go. I found. The thing is, all of our Lowells. I got to think of someone who like kind of fits, and I think Tom Hiddleston's had a big like
No.
comeback recently.
No, please.
Don't do
No.
that.
Don't do that.
Because the thing is, all of Lowell's casting, unless you do something like Robert Downey Jr. or like
That's
the thing
Lowell.
is, because Lowell is kind of meant to be that, like that generic, that generic pretty boy.
Yeah.
Any of these actors would actually work kind of well. And I'm thinking of all my joke ones, but I love a George Clooney Lowell.
Oh.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Okay. yeah.
Jared Leto Lowell. I'm looking at that. Ryan Reynolds Lowell. I love
I
that.
like that. Ryan
Oh,
would be
fuck.
so good.
Yeah,
Ryan
that
Reynolds
would
would be so
work.
good.
Another
Just
one I
kind of
like.
work.
Imagine Paul Rudd as Lowell.
Bull Rod.
Matthew McConaughey.
Hopperscotch. Oh my god.
Matthew McConaughey.
Take it back.
Yes, please.
Take it back.
McConaughey.
No, for Adam Scott should be hopperscotch for clarity's sake, but that also feels almost uninspired at this
Yeah,
point.
honestly, I would not
honestly,
cast Adam
Yeah,
Scott
like,
as Hopperscotch.
so, but that feels like it should
Hopperscotch.
be because it's uninspired and we wouldn't want it. That feels like it could be put
We-
forward
we-
for a soulless executive.
We did make that Dwayne the Shock Johnson joke.
That was my first joke that was the first time I saw Halle die. And
Oh
I
no!
was-
Oh
yeah.
no! Someone said one Tom Holland as Lowell. Great prompts, by the way. Jellyfish scare me. Tom Holland is Lowell, but I found the most cursed
That's-
casting. Someone we've got to get in here. Jellyfish suggested this person play Hopper, but the important question is, who does James Corden play?
Ellie.
Get out.
I
Get
swear
out.
to God.
James
No.
Corden isn't allowed near our movie.
Um,
Not even in this casting.
I feel like The Rock voicing somebody would actually be one of the soulless exexecutive things. 'Cause,
yeah, I could
he's
see.
The problem is
Like,
now I'm just thinking of
The
people
Rock
that would be fun to see in
voicing
these
Misha.
roles. Like,
Yeah.
what? It feels like a meme because of the recent casting, but a Charlie Day Hopperscotch feels like such a silly casting that I want to see it. It makes no fucking sense.
And now I'm just looking.
I
at
would love a Charlie Day hopperscotch though.
I'm looking at actual
I would
actors
love
now that
that.
I would want to see. Like, I'm just going through here and I'm like, man.
when did we start answering this question
'cause
earnestly?
Now I'm seeing like Idris Elba here, and obviously
Well,
David S.
yes,
Deer.
good.
But like, if I was going
Yeah.
to do a celebrity for Horace, Idris Elba. Like, let's get him
Yes.
there.
Damn, you got me there.
Who's Will Ferrell?
Oh no. Ellie.
Will Ferrell. No, let's think
Uh,
about this.
Okay.
Will Ferrell as the Great Vespari.
Holy shit, that's so bad. I hate it so much.
But you know that's exactly what they would do. That's exactly who they'd cast as the Great Vespari, Will Ferrell.
Sacha Baron Cohen as Shock. No.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
So I was
right.
like,
Oh
that
my
would be the
fucking God.
perfect Vespari, but I was like, let's just put it as something that doesn't match instead.
James McAvoy's Shock. There we go. He's pretty boy.
I almost suggested James McAvoy as Lowell. Oh my god. But
I feel like a really good soulless executive, maybe it's too off the wall, and then it gets fun. But like, I was thinking that time that Harry Styles was in Dunkirk and everybody lost their minds. If like Harry Styles was Shock,
I feel like that could
almost work though, because
Yeah.
Harry Styles was actually really good in Dunkirk. So maybe that's like too good of a choice.
I kind of do like the idea of like The Rock voicing Shock, because The Rock is like complete opposite of how Shock would sound.
If I were an actual celebrity trying to cast someone, I found someone for Shock I actually don't hate. Because I saw Will Smith and I was like, what do I do with that? I'm like, I don't know, Jaden Smith is Shock. But honestly,
But,
that could work.
Yeah.
It could work.
Yeah, that
coming
could
up-
work.
Anyways, Paul Rudd is Lowell, and no one will convince me otherwise. I need him as your brain, just
Jesus
your
Christ.
very disappointed brain bud.
Yeah.
God.
God.
Brain bud.
Brain rot.
God.
God.
I see now why
You're
we said
welcome.
this at the end.
Okay, I think. I don't think we can. I think this.
I think
is
it's time
it.
to stop.
I think
Shut it down.
It's
Close
like,
the
just-
stream.
Just get the. It's time to stop.
Get out of
Maybe
my
I'll edit,
fucking room.
Maybe I'll edit just into the video now. The green screen.
It's time to
It's time to
stop.
stop. It's time to stop.
But our brains won't stop. We're going to be talking about this all night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking about.
We're going to be talking about it tomorrow, too. We're
Last,
going to be sitting
Yeah.
around in my living room talking about, like, damn, this is a weird casting choice.
the chat is now talking about Morgan Freeman as Cubo.
Holy shit, that would be amazing though. What
God,
the?
why?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
Oh my god.
What do you think? Morgan
James
Freeman
Corden
is-
would be Cubo.
That's
That's where they put James
Oh,
Corden.
Yeah,
you're
right.
No,
Yeah,
Cubo.
yeah, you're right.
I've already given Cubo enough disrespect. He can't take any more.
But you know
That's
it's what
right.
you know. Search your heart. You know it's exactly what Soulless Hollywood
Cubo
exec
would
would
get a
do.
musical number.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Roulette,
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'd eat that shit up.
it would replace Lorraine's musical number, or
Lorraine.
synergize with it.
It's just the Olaf song from Frozen, but it's Cubo.
God,
One of us has to walk over and kill James Corden in his nest.
I'll do it. I'll kill it right
Oh
now.
my god.
James Corden in his nest.
You could show your cat
From the
as a
chat as
palate
well.
cleanser.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch things over briefly. Look at this kitty. He's got little white spots on his
You
belly.
can't make Ness James Corden. You just can't.
Please.
How about Will Ferrell?
Please.
Or
I'd prefer that.
I
don't
Jim
want to,
Carrey, no,
but I
actually,
prefer it.
he
I-
became kind of better now.
He might be kind of fun. I don't know.
Anyway, this is a very good kitty.
I'd cast Jim Carrey as
The Rock as
That would be
Ness.
great.
All right, anyways, thank you so much for joining
Yes,
us
thank
on
you.
this adventure. And whether you're around for many ones that we do forward, or that you're just happy to have spent time with this one story we've told, we're happy to have had you along with us.
Bye.
But yeah, James Corden Cubo, that's
Absolutely.
I forgot where we were starting.
I just loved hearing the harmonica, like, just in between kazoo beats.
Tom, are you recording?
I am recording.
Hallie, are you recording?
I am recording.
And because this is our last session of the main campaign, Miss Ari, why did you kill a man?
Wait.
Thank you, detective. I didn't.
Wait.
Oh, good. Glad that's out of the way.
Wait, let's clear it up. Oh boy,
We just need to combine them. Mr. Salad Raptor, why did you Dungeons Their Dragons?
Thank you, Salad Raptor. I didn't.
Would you like some dunk in your donuts?
Is Hallie even breathing right now?
It is unclear.
I like that her chair moved a little.
What if I died?
You know what? This would make a great Patreon video.
What if I died right now, out of sight of the camera, and you all felt really bad?
I think we would be sad for the rest of our lives.
I think so.
I would feel bad, but not as bad as Hopper feels of lying to Misha and then going to do the thing and then being the thing.
He feels bad about both of those things.
Hopper's Hallie. He feels bad about everything.
Not as bad as Hopper feels about mansplaining.
Hopper feels bad about a lot of things.
Ma'am, I'm an account. Let me explain.
All right, so we're going to go back to Misha. I'm going to send this to everyone because I need these next 2 lines to get said in character in order.
No. No. Why would you do this?
I told Tom the other day that I asked Emily, like, hey, is this too mean to put in? And they said, you have to do it now that you've shown me.
No.
The betrayal.
We're bringing back important parts of the campaign now. This is our most important memory.
Look, God damn it. Do you need them said right now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Ma'am, I'm an accountant. I can explain this real quick. See, when you have money...
But that's what I said.
And as you look down, Hop, you can see that your little 12-year-old Pinky is now coming out of a full-grown man's hand.
Oh,
That's so cursed.
Don't like that at all.
Because you're also a grown man now.
yeah.
Except for the Pinky, who is still...
It could have just been a grown man's hand when he looked down. That could have been what you did, Kyle. And yet you did not.
You still have the popsicle, too.
In my other hand?
Well, no, you're eating it.
I'm eating my pops. Okay.
It's like...
In your grown man mouth.
I love that the Apocrypha was like, well, that's fine, because we still have the 4th. And the 4th was like, no. Right away.
Honestly,
Fuck you.
I half expected Ellie to just fucking stab him.
Also, it sounded like the kid, like, he's like, fine, I didn't want you anyway. He's like, the response to him, like, shh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like I like you or anything. God.
The body in the car... The body in the Carls. The body in the car...
They will point at the gendarme soldier and the,
Point directly at the one that I definitely killed.
Well, no, but like, was it...
None of these are
didn't
my
we reach
doing.
her? Well,
That one,
Wait.
that's my bad, everyone. You know what? I'll take responsibility for that one.
No, but,
That's
like,
fair.
Didn't you retroactively said that was also the ladies doing, or was that not a thing that we said? Okay, let me read it.
We did not retroactively say that. In fact, you were fully disconnected from the lady because you had no memories at that point. That was fully a Misha oopsie.
God damn it. I remember somebody asked at some point, like, were Misha's eyes red? And you said they were. So I was like, oh, okay, then, like, let's redo that then. Misha will say...
you could argue theoretically, you could argue semantics about whether or not that... no one knows.
No one knows.
Whose fault that murder was. Really.
Really.
All we know is that a man is dead.
A man got crushed. It was when I thought the backstory was gonna be different. And so...
Hallie, do you want to say...
I sure do. I had 2 memories, and Ellie was actually listed first, but I went to it last because I still was deciding in the moment which memory I wanted to go with. And you're welcome, Emily, because the one that I didn't go with was... I remember when Ellie passed me my buzzer disc for some reason.
Oh my fucking
God.
It was
God.
kind of weird, but really nice. I kind of regret that she was in it since I had to say, ma'am, I'm an accountant at the beginning of this episode, but I'm nice.
I almost put "Ma'am, I'm an accountant" as the memory of Hopper, but then I did it, so we were nice to each other.
Oh, great.
I actually, ma'am, I'm an accountant, I would have given Hallie something that was even more dangerous and harder for her to use. Any action that Hopper takes that he is fully confident in is 5 steps easier.
That's gonna be 0
Wow.
actions for my
What
boy.
disrespect.
He had to be saved from his Apocrypha memory. Like, no.
The term boss rush refers to the end of an adventure
Fuck you.
when you fight previous bosses one after another.
Fuck you, Kyle Decker.
Often before the final foe. Which is why I'm not sure what to call this. Because you're not fighting the bosses one after another. You're fighting them all at once.
Yeah, well, Fire Emblem 7 did that too.
Lake A will respond, let's find a way to make an experiment work for once.
Good luck with that.
They're trying to be supportive.
No, I know.
Tom, do you have any XP?
I have one.
You can summon a healing cipher.
Yeah, but that'd be boring, so no.
Okay.
No, I don't think I will. You told me that'd be boring to get potions before, so no. I will sit here at 1 health and dare you to kill me.
You know there's another phase after this, right?
Yeah, well, Kyle can fucking heal me if he wants to. Or someone else can. I'm gonna keep fighting.
Which I'm not going to mention this, but I think it's fun because there have been now 3 20s that haven't counted. Ellie stabbing Shock, Misha doing the kazoo,
I
and then
stabbed
Shock doing
Shock?
it
Well,
early on when you tried to get him with the spider pin.
Oh.
So I'm very glad that you get the 20 that finally kills it because yours was the first one that I was like,
Oh my god.
bullshit, didn't work.
The parallels. Oh.
This feels right.
This does feel so right.
So why do we have memories?
it just sounded like the introduction to like a grad student's presentation.
In future
about, like,
research, we would like to establish
Yeah.
what is memory? What is die?
And out in the main space, Ellie sees Sarah and Chitters, but she also sees the rest of her guests. She sees Hopper, Shock, Ellie, Hopper.
There's a mirror.
She has a secret twin. Surprise.
Also named Ellie.
Also named Ellie.
Bees. Back from beyond the grave.
Back from the evil dimension.
It'll be Ellie C.
Ellie C. This Ellie isn't afraid of boats.
Yes. That's why she never saw her, because she was always in the water, and Ellie B never went to the water to look for her.
This is beautiful. I feel so bad. I fucked it up with spatulas. Literal, the last hour of this campaign, a sizable part will be me having spatulas do things that spatulas do not in fact do.
You know what? That's
But that's such a fun detail.
It's the ninth world.
that's just Ninth World lore now.
Yeah, exactly.
Spatulas are everything.
Here's the difference. When we make a weird fuck up like that, we lean right into it.
So Anastasia is not here. She is off on some adventure with her Brackleberry Brigade. I think because it's close to Valentine's or the Ninth World equivalent, they're on some like weird adventure to get some hottie from her past to take her back or something.
The cooking mouse came along. That's why he's not in the kitchen anymore.
So she is not there. So he takes her little charred hair, sticks it in, puts it in her mouth, just... Oh, that's right. I can't feel anything because of the fire.
Oh no.
So it is... Everyone else looks the same, but Shock has gotten sexy. I mean, if you ask Misha, Shock has always been sexy.
Yeah,
He's just
that's what I was
gotten
gonna
sexier.
say. Like, the sexy herb.
So the concert's about to start, and you are all sitting in Tom's house, and you are all...
Gotta get that in one last time.
Just one last time.
Well, I believe that has just been on my music because they do not appreciate
The art.
fine melodies.
They didn't understand the arts.
The
you
art
know?
and fine melodies.
And that's a wrap.
Should I stop my recording?
Yeah, I guess we can stop our recordings.
Okay.